Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the OSC Mid Season Playoffs number 1, day 6. Yeah, I'm of course your side VIP with him, joined by these amazing players and by the who in chat as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. This is actually our first day covering the OSC Mid Season Playoffs. Shout out to Eddie and OSC for hosting and organizing the event, of course, as we are stepping in for the first time covering the event. We were going to be covering the OSC Rising Star tournaments, but the matches weren't quite available for us, so we did decide to go into some mid-season playoffs instead. Let's go. Let us go, as we have some insane matches already here to kick things off. We're going to be starting things off here with Cure versus Harstem, a TVP. Oh boy, when it comes to the event itself, for those who are unaware, this tournament is a massive online event. Think of it almost like the World Championship for specifically and exclusively online tournaments. Basically, most online tournaments out there are partnered with OSC that provide points that players accumulate over time, and then here we have that mid-season playoffs, kind of like that mid-year kind of major events where we invite all the top players that compete in online leagues. And here we have them. Here we do have them. We can actually go over the bracket for a moment as well. Un momento, as we can go over that bracket and try to catch up on what has been occurring so far. Again, we're already 6 weeks in. We're already 6 weeks in, papi. A lot to get into. Yeah, a lot to get into here. As we can just switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. Okay, so from the top, we do have Max, and Percival. They're going to be facing off in the upper bracket quarterfinals. Max took down Young Yakov, Percival took down Sham. Likewise, we have Solar versus Bunny, still to be played, still to be determined. I know they've been very busy as of late, especially with all the Korean leagues going on. Showtime takes down Lambo 2-0. We have Björn takes down Nightmare. Shameless took down Christiana. We have Björn versus Shameless here in the upper bracket quarterfinals. We have our next series. We're going to be covering Cure versus Harstem and Skilless versus Art. Those two matches we are going to be casting here on the channel, and then we'll be going down to the lower bracket where we still have a plethora of matches to go. Similar to OSC Rising Star, it's a very massive event, a lot of games to be played, a lot of matches going on. It's going to be a long event. It's going to be a long event. It takes multiple months to get through. We're just here with day 6. We're here with day number 6, and we are jumping into game 1. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Oh boy. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is Harstem. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our initial best of 3 TVP. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our initial series, jumping into our initial matchup here, and I'm excited just because we don't often see these two players face off against each other. Harstem very rarely is seen competing in online tournaments. He's similar to Lambo in that sense. Obviously, Cure is coming as a favorite player, one of the heavy favorites to maybe even win the entire tournament. Hey, I mean, he performed well in GSL over the weekend, but Harstem, I want to say he's a player that can be cheeky and that can catch him off guard. What I appreciate out of Harstem is that he often does come up with his own builds, or he does play a certain unique style apart from the meta and apart from the norm. He's willing to be a little bit more exploratory, a little bit more experimental with his play, and we often do get to see some more diverse styles out of Harstem. So we'll see. We'll see what he does bring to the table, Pappy. We'll see. Meanwhile, big shout out to Persevenga in the chat. God, Pappy, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting 2 subs. 2 subs to the community, to Kenga and to It's Wild as well. Thank you, Pappy. Thank you. Do appreciate the support. Do appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. As Harstem does move out here, just scouting the nearby proxy locations before moving out across the map, we can see Double Gas open out a Cure, going for a fast start factory, going for a delayed CC. This can lead into Reaper Hellion, it can lead into early Cyclone drop, it can lead into committed tank pushes, it can lead into early Banshee play. There's a lot of avenues of tech here. It can even lead into just standard Widow Mine drops as well, committed mine drops. There's a lot of ways that this can take us here. Regardless, it's very tech heavy, and upon confirming, Harstem will need to prepare back at home. For now, Harstem does check the natural expansion, the location for the timing of the Nexus, or the CC I should say, before going in. Okay, does keep the prey hidden. Does keep it hidden. Now confirms it is a later command center. Does confirm. Reaper does pick in, Stalker's popping out, and it is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Harstem. Okay. Does open Twilight Council. As from here, the probe does go down. Again, just causing a bit of a nuisance across the map, as back at home, we are going to be building up. We're going to be building up here. We have our... Oh, that is a second Rex, by the way. Not a starport. My mind, I was assuming it was going to be a 1-1-1. That is a 2-1-1 setup, soon to be a 3-1-1. Yep, there we go. Third Rex has been thrown down. This is the beginning with 2-base all in. This is the beginning. Now, this build is rarely seen on Winter Madness because the map is so big. We usually see this kind of build on Ruby Rock or Tourmaline or even 10,000 feet. But to see it here on Winter Madness, it's unexpected. It's a bold move. The map is going to be working against Cure. Harstem is going to have more time and more time to react, more space to work with as well. But it's on Harstem first to scout. So far, he has not gotten into the main base. He does not know. Harstem is playing blind. Hellions towards the natural, weavers into the main base. They do rush past. Diving into the mineral line, and probes are going to start going down. Yeah, getting 1, 2, 3 probe kills already. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it's getting out of hand here. 5 probes going down, getting up to 6 probe kills. And the Reaper Hellion is going to be cleaned up. But remember, we have the follow-up that's amassing. Massing up all the Bio Army, massing up the Cyclones. Sorry, soon to be the tanks. And it's so hard to figure out. There's a sentry, and we should be seeing a hallucination scout. I would imagine. As the main army does push. Behind this Cure, his defensive setup is a little bit weaker because he just threw away his Reaper Hellion, so that does trigger a counterattack. Back at home, we have the Cyclone, we have Marines still building up. There's a window of opportunity here where Harstem could just bust into the mineral line. Uh-oh. But Marines, they do arrive just in time. Does catch one of the Adepts, the other does get into the mineral line. And we'll kill one SV. No, not even. Yeah, the workers survive. Local of the Sulker is brutal. So much damage dealt, and Cure holds. He holds with the bare minimum. And again, what I'm afraid about here is the 2-base all-in is that stim timing, right? Stim, combat shields, upgrades are going to be on the way, and we should be hitting with set upgrades. It's going to hit quite hard. Going to hit quite brutally. Catching up the Stalker. Does catch a Stalker, and we're soon going to be moving out. So we'll see if Kira does pull the boys. As he's getting a knee base, that tells us that we're going for a later upgrade and we're taking up into a later game state. Kira's still pushing, don't get me wrong, but he's thinking further ahead, so he's not all in. This is so risky though. Yeah, it's so risky. The armies, they pass by each other. We're going for a pseudo base trade. Stalkers hit the natural. Curie moves across the map. Third base is going to be forfeit, but again, the SCVs are going down. But we have Marauders to defend. Wow. Yeah, we have Marauders. Getting 1, getting 2 Stalkers already. So Cure, he defends once again with the bare minimum. Cure defends. Gets across the map. He'll knock down the third, but the third doesn't matter. It's all about the natural. It's going to be about the natural instead. As there's plenty of bio back at home. Catching out another Stalker. Third Stalker goes down. Nexus is killed. Cure can now move in. And behind this is a battery at least. There is one Immortal. There are some units to defend, but the tanks to get within range. Yeah, they're within range. Oh my god. And massive tank shots going up. Immortal goes down, and one tank still survives, and with that, Harstem has nothing left. He has nothing left. D-powers the Robo, D-powers the Gateway. Stalkers are trying to come in from behind. Once again, they get punished. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Cure, he does pull off the stim timing, and with that Cure, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. He will take a lead in the series. Once again, Harstem, unfortunately, he never got a scout off, actually. Like, he never recognized what was happening. When we saw the sentry, I thought it was going to go for hallucination scout to figure out what was going on. But again, it was a very, very, very late realization as to how committed Cure was. And we had very light defense back at home here for Harstem. Unfortunately, he moved out at the same time. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Cure takes the lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. We're going to be loading into Tourmaline. I'm in game 2. And spawning in the top right corner of Tourmaline, we have our South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. Leading the series 1-0. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player from the Netherlands representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem. Let's go. Let us go. So we're going to hyper aggressive game out of Cure in game number 1. Harstem was lacking vision, lacking scouting, lacking information to be able to muster up a defense and prepare in time. Meanwhile, welcome to Tourmaline, another very small map. Small map of the map pool, short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Tourmaline, and we're hoping for a bit of a safer build. We're hoping for more vision and scouting out of Harstem to recognize what Cure is up to. Again, high chance that Cure commits once again, as he goes for a double gas opener 2 games in a row. Once again, passive factory, delayed command center. Now, just because it's double gas doesn't mean it's going to be the same build, right? That doesn't confirm that, but it does mean that it's tech heavy, and does mean that there's, again, options available for Cure. It means that Harstem needs to be more diligent when it comes to scouting to figure out what's happening. We could see another 3-1-1, or we could see instead Cloak Banshee play, right? And if that's the case, we got to scout the main base, we got to scout for the Cloak, or we could see a Widowmine drop, we could see committed tank all in early on as well. We'll see. Harstem, he does move out. Once again, checking for the main proxy locations. Does check the third base location. Looking for proxies. Is checking back. Has this okay. This time it's Harstem's turn. It's Harstem's turn here to be active, to be aggressive as he goes for his own proxy across the map. Okay. Does go for the proxy. Kira, meanwhile, going for his own delayed TC. And we'll see if this is just for the gateway. No, okay, proxy Stargate. So this is not an all-in, it's just a way to get economic damage done early on. It's a bit of a cheeky build. It's high risk, high reward. What I mean by that is that because of this build, we're going to be delaying Twilight Council. We're going to be delaying the Forge. We're delaying kind of the strength of the gateway composition in favor of harassing damage. If we fail to do damage with this, then we will fall behind. So the pressure's on Harstem, so far unscouted. So far. Stargate is getting up. Oracle's going to be on the way. This time it is a straight up 1-1-1 out of Cure. Remember last game we saw a fast second Rax and a third Rax. Here it's going to be a 1-1-1. We can go into an add-on swap. We can go into a tank follow-up into early medevac. Oh, okay. If we go for medevac, we're going for an early push. And if we go for an early push, Harstem's going to have a weaker defense. As I just mentioned earlier, because of the Stargate opener, it means that the gateway composition is going to be weaker here as a result of that. The Oracles are amassing, and they will be able to do some damage, but I'm worried about the counterattack. Yeah, we're going for the medevac. We're going for the early push. This is a borderline all-in. Basically, it's just hyper-aggressive. We're going to be moving out with Cyclones, Marines, early tank, early medevac. I believe that Cure should be reinforcing with a Viking, as Viking does add extra DPS. You can even see the Cyclone just rally across the map faster. It's just a bit of a kitchen sink here. Everything's rallying across the map as we speak. And yes, these Oracles will kill SCVs, but what is it to defend? That's what I'm concerned about. Twilight Council still in production. Gateways still in production. There's one gate. We can only warp in one unit at a time. Yeah, SCVs, they do catch some workers. Sorry, the Oracles catch some SCVs. Workers are going down. And again, like, this is nice. It's like, cool, you're killing workers, you're killing the economy, but that doesn't matter. What matters is this. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. The batteries are now being thrown down. The army's already here. It's already here. The boys are being pulled. Harstem, he's desperate. The desperation, baby. Cleans up every single probe. 16 probes go down. GG gets called, and Cure with a build order win. He will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Harstem, his own build is designed to give him a lead coming into an economic macro game. But Cure wasn't going for a macro game. He was going for an early push, and Harstem had no idea. He had no idea what was going on. By the time he realized, it was too late. It was too little too late. Harstem, he was unaware as to the aggression of Cure because it was blindly going for the proxy. And as we were trying to emphasize, because of the proxy, it meant that his defenses back at home were weaker. GG. GG, well played with that. Cure, he will claim the series. He will advance on. Harstem is going to be knocked down, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into our next matchup. We're going to be loading into our PvP. It's going to be a PvP between Skillous and Art. Here we go. Our next upper bracket match. Shall I bring in our Protoss versus Protoss? And spawning in this other hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself, representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Liquid. It is Skillous. And fun fact, the winner of the series will advance on a face-off against Cure. Getting Curious in the next round, waiting for either Art or Skillous, another Protoss opponent. Oh boy. Coming into this, Skillous should be favored, but I mentioned this previously, I'll say it again. I have a really hard time placing Skillous' skill at the moment. No pun intended. But Skillous has been very inactive over the past couple of months. It's been a while, like 2, 3, 4 months. Like, Skillous hasn't really been playing in many tournaments. As have some other players as well, just due to the fact that, you know, there's no EWC this year, for example, so there's just been less to compete for, so Skillous has been less active, so I don't really know where to place him and how to rank him, especially because someone like Art has been grinding, right? Art has been playing in everything, he's been playing in so many tournaments, and Art has been showing that off, and he's been improving, like that all that work has been paying off for Art. He's been improving, he's been getting better results. I still do lean towards Skillous, of course, but I do know that Art nowadays is more of a threat, more than previously. Here we go. For now, 2-gate. 2-gate opener out of Art, likewise 2-gate opener out of Skillous as well. Two-gate openers all around. So Art does poke in. Does poke in, does pull away. And from here, Skillous going for a much faster expand. Okay, so 2-gate opener into a very fast Nexus. Meanwhile, Art across the map going for his own 2-gate opener back at home. And I would imagine going for his tech of choice. We'll keep an eye on him. Does go for a second round of Stalkers. Meanwhile, Skillous doesn't. Well, he did wait a little bit longer here to get his next unit. Going for his sentries. Art's committing to a one-base all-in, going for the proxy. And Skillous is being greedy. And we just spoke about this, how Art has been improving over time and has been closing that gap in skill, and Art is being hyper-aggressive, going for the one-base all-in, and Proxy Robo's on the way. And meanwhile, Skillous, again, it's going to be hard to defend here, is being quite greedy. Oh, never mind, goes for his own defensive Robo. Okay, okay. Going for the correct steps. Defensive Robo's on the way, extra batteries as well. Skillous, he knows that a pylon is missing. He knows he's been scouted. So far, good reads out of Skillous. Very nice reads. And Skillous is favored here, given this position. He's going to have 3 batteries and he'll have immortal production. Okay, the first immortal's on the way. Think of this like similar builds, except Skillous has, Skillous has a base and batteries. Whereas the production is the same. Yeah, Art, he's behind, he's going for the base, going for proxy disruptors. Disruptors are a way to make up for an otherwise deficit. It is a way to do so. Prism loads up. Alright, dropping into the main. Alright, he drops into the main base so far. I mean, nice damage. Gets 5 workers. Nice force field, forcing the recall. 5 probes go down. What's scary though is Skill is still ahead. Skill, he's still up in workers. That's the power of the second base. He can afford some losses. Art needs more damage. And so far, solid force field, zoning Art away. It zones him back. Skill says yet to lose any units. Immortal has a right for both players. We have the Immortal. Nice catch. Catching out the Prism. Big misstep out of Skillus. Yeah, big misstep. Now he has no micro. He cannot juggle his units. Stargate's on the way. That should be for Phoenixes. Oh, as the drop does get into the main. Uh-oh. And Skillus being torn apart here. You're losing more probes. 1, 2, 3 more probe kills. Immortal should not go down. Oh no, the Prism goes down, the Immortal as well. We did see some miscontrol there by Art, and Art, he commits. He does have the Disruptor. Shells it over. Never goes off. Oh. Yeah, let's catch a couple of units. A couple of sentries go down. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough. As Skill's getting further ahead, building up more Immortals. That episode did not shade into the main. Looking for a way in. Oof. Yeah, the Disruptor gets focused down. So does the other. No Novas connect, and with that, GG. GG, well played. The all-in fails, and Skillus takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Skills does take a lead. Again, a very intense game 1, of course, with Art going for the all-in, with Skills being greedy, but again, Skills went for a blind robo follow-up, so he had the tools to defend, I should say. He had all the batteries as well, and even though he lost his first War Prism, he was able to retain that higher Immortal count and also catch the Prism of Art. True. Like, that was a big misstep from Art, losing that War Prism in the main. That should not have happened. As now getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself, representing Quasar. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, representing Team Liquid. It is Skillus. Here we go. Just calming down as we are settling in. Once again, it was last game that Skills went for a greedier build, and Art tried to punish him. We'll see if we can pull it off again. We'll see if Art can pull it off this time, assuming that Skills is greedy, or if we do adjust and we do shift gears, and if Skills is the aggressor instead. We shall see. We shall see. So now our players are amassing. Here we go. We have a 2-gate opener in the main base of Arts. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Skills as well. No one is going for a gate expand. Here we go. Art does got the main. This time again, we're looking for pylons. Making sure there's no shenanigans. Artie throws in his own second pylon here on the low ground. Sorry, his third pylon, I should say. Second pylon was in the main base. I believe Skills did scouts. He did confirm. Likewise, Skills also in the main as well. So both players are fully aware that this time we have standard openers. Everything's above board. Everything's as it should be. Art does pylon block, delaying the expand. Skills does the same. So mirrored build so far, both players blocking each other, both players trying to expand. So you try to expand. Oh. Next arrow on the way. And this time, as opposed to the last game we went for the initial rowboat, is a Twilight Council opener. This is a lot more standard here. Remember, the rowboat was only necessary because Skills was defending against an all-in and he was expecting hyper-aggression. This time, we're going for Blink, getting into the mid-game. So much more standard builds here from both players, getting ready for mid-game play. This should lead into a third expansion. The next big sign that we're looking for here is the gateway count. Whether we go for a big gateway explosion, whether we go into earlier forges, earlier upgrades, or upgrades at all. That's what we're waiting for. You're at the mall and sub time for SCC. Let's go. Let's go. Always, papi. Always. Take care. Take care. So now Skills does fan out. Does fan out with his 4 probes, with his 4 hallucinations. For those who are unaware, this is a nice little trick that you can do with a sentry. If you do hallucinate a worker and not a main unit, then you actually spawn in multiple probes, and then you can fan them out and scout multiple locations in less time. As you can see, Skills scouted the entire map, by the way. The entire map with just the probes. Obviously, the downside is that workers are limited by terrain, whereas hallucinations, whereas air units like oracles and like phoenixes, they can ignore terrain and go directly into the main base to scout for tech. So different uses, different purposes. Probe scouts are ideal for looking for proxies, meanwhile, and ninja bases. Meanwhile, hallucination air units like oracles and phoenixes, they give you scout information in regards to the main base. Get into the bases. Confirming the Twilight Council, confirming the Forge, confirming the they don't quite get eyes on the rowboat, but regardless, does confirm that we have a standard follow-up into a third base. Everything's looking as it should so far. Skill is the first to be active. Oh. Does barely catch a Stalker, very nice. Stalker goes down, Pylon as well. Nice little pickups here by Skillus. Skillus does pull away. And does pull out. And from here, we're just chilling. We're just big chilling back. Just calming down, building up our upgrades. Both players just settling into their own 3 bases. +1 is on the way. Blink is now done. Charge is finishing up as well. We do see that Art is the first to tech up. Now, this is kind of like the standard tech of choice here for, the standard tech direction of mid-game PvP is Charge out Stalker into Archon. The reasoning for this is because Zealots, they do amazingly when it comes to how efficient they are in PvP. But Zealots, they're prone to stacking, they're prone to clumping, so that's when Archons can punish mass Charge lots. So we'll have Archons available for Art soon, as the Temple Archives is still not yet done. Meanwhile, Skillus, he's going for no Archons himself, just going into Immortals count instead. Building up his Immortals. mainly reliant on Stalkers. So far, kiting well. First Archon morphs in. But again, it's mainly a Stalker-heavy composition. So far, nice force fields. Does kite back. Kites back to his batteries. Ooh, nice shuttling. Nice shuttling so far. It pulls further back here. He's got 3 batteries at his third base. They put in some work. They're putting in the work, pappy. Does focus on the Archon at the same time. We do see Zealous at buying time on the left-hand side, collapsing through the army, and with that skills, he dominates this fight. He completely shuts down the Zealots, the Archons, and the Stalkers. And Skills now going for the kill, going for the throw. GG gets called, and Skills will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Art was being a little bit cheeky. He was going for his own strong timing. He hit exactly as soon as the Temple Archives finished to get an Archon. But Archons, they're not good against Stalkers, or ideally against a more Zealot-heavy style. There were no Zealots though, or there were barely any. It was very Stalker-heavy as Skills instead. And that's where Skills, he had the defender's advantage, had the better concave, and again, he could fall back to 3 batteries to support his army. Meanwhile, we saw that the Archon was less effective, and there just wasn't enough to really break through. Art did peter out. GG. GG, well played. With that, Skills will claim the series 2-0. Oh, and I don't think I opened predictions for that final series, so I do apologize. But I'll claim a 2-0 here, as that leads us into our next matchup. Now we're heading down to the lower brackets. We're heading on down to our PvPs. It is going to be Middle VK versus Fire. Fire, of course, is a French Protoss player who has been very inactive, but recently returned to the game. So great to see Fire return here this year. He was very inactive last year, so great to see him come back. He's a very young player, has a little potential, but we'll see how he compares to someone that has been active the entire time he's been gone. Sure. We shall see. As in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss player himself. Besides from gaming, it is Mindel VK. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. It is Fire. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. I do apologize for not having predictions for the second series, but we got it for the third one. We'll try to remember. We will try. Oh, as looks like there was a bit of a pause. But from here, we are going to be settling in. From here, we're just being 2 gate openers. So we got 2 gate opener out of Middle VK, 2 gate opener out of our Fire as well. Standard openers out of our players. From here, we're looking for the second pylon to see if we go for a real or fake proxy. Mindle's a little probe out on the map. Fire just searching for the pylon. Mindle just going for a delayed scout. Nothing crazy. There's a second pylon for Fire, and there's a second pylon for Mindle VK. So both second pylons are in their respective bases. Nothing crazy, no proxies, no shenanigans, and from here we can either expand or go for our tech of choice. Do we go Stargate, Twilight Council, or Robo? Or Nexus? See Mindle setting up on the low ground. Stargate opener out of Fire. Okay, does open Stargate. With this, the goal is economic damage early on. Wants to find damage early. Meanwhile, Mindle, he's just getting extra stalkers and just wants to expand. Just wants his Nexus. Fire again. He does delay his next set of units here in favor of a faster Nexus. Hello, Mindle. Does keep his probe hidden. Has yet to expand, but is building up resources, is banking, and there should still be a Nexus. There we go. Nexus is thrown down. Mindle hiding that worker here just outside. And yep, there it is. There's that proxy pylon. So far we have 2 gateways back at home, and if this is a proxy 3rd gateway, it will be set up here nicely for just some hyper aggression. We'll see. This may just be a harassing pylon instead. As Mindle does have the Stalker advantage, does try to break through, but again, that battery putting a little work. It's about to run out though. Yeah, battery's running out of energy. So far, kills 2 probes. Wants that Stalker. Ooh, does get it as well. Very nice. Yeah, Mindle, he does kite back. Does hunt down the probes, and he's struggling at control. He's getting a hand here. The Oracle does dive in. They're going to get focused down. One more volley. Oh my god, the battery. The battery does put in so much work. Despite that, the energy is running out, and Mindle VK does it. He does it. He breaks on through at the same time. Probes are falling across the map. That is good economic damage, but Mindle's going for the kill. He's going for the kill as long as he does not get surrounded. Does have to respect the probes. Yeah, it does respect the workers. One more volley. Cashing out the gateways. Nothing is powered. We only have the Stargate for Void Rays. Only Void Rays. And we still have more Stalkers warping in. And GG. GG gets called. Mindle, he busts into the main base. There is no defense. And Mindle takes game number 1. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. Mindle VK does claim a lead in the series, and we'll see if Aragfire can bounce back and force the ace match. We'll see if Mindle can close it out here and now as we load into Title Citadel. Let us go. Again, a very intense game 1. We did see that Mindle, even though he had a later expansion, he just committed with Hyper, just with the proxy, with more gateway units, of course. Aragfire, he was getting ready for a longer game by dealing harassing damage. That was great and all, but that reminded me of Cure versus Harstem earlier, where Harstem was doing economic damage, but Cure just ended the game. He just killed. Just pushed across the map. Similar story, it's what you leave yourself vulnerable to. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. We have the blue Protoss for System Gaming leading the series. It is Mindle VK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the French Protoss player, we have the red Protoss. It is Aragfire. We go. So once again, we're opening up on the high ground. We should be seeing 2 gate openers for both players. I should be seeing those 2 gate openers. And we'll see where this takes us. As Aragfire does set up a proxy on the left. Now, based on this proxy location, what are we thinking here? It is pretty far away. That is true. So because of its distance, I mean, yeah, it's a fake out. Okay. I was gonna be like, it could be a proxy Stargate, but the fact that the probe just abandons the pylon, it's a fake out. It's a fake proxy here. Aragfire, he wants Mindle VK to overreact. He wants that overreaction. As Mindle is inside of the main, looking for the pylon. Oh, going for his own pylon inside of the main. Okay. Okay. I see you. And with this, you can just warp in directly into the main base of Aragfire. As Mindle does find the pylon eventually. I just recognize what's going on. He was already going for a Twilight Council on base as well. So Arakbar, he has the stronger economy, the faster Nexus. Middle VK will have faster Blink. And again, still has potential with that pylon hidden inside of the main. True. Pylon is going to be brought down. Oh, do we find it? We do. There we go. The pylon is found. Arakbar, he should be able to clean this up. Hopefully it does react soon to said pylon. And hopefully. And just applying pressure. There is that battery in position. Oh. And the pylon is found. And Minnow does not break through. It cannot break through, not against that shield battery. Both players are building up. Again, Arakbar still has a better economy. And we'll see how hard we commit into Blink Stalkers. So far, that is the third gateway for Arakbar. Mindle's still on 2. Does he go for the faster third? The probe moving out, extra warpins as well. Are we going for the proxy? Are we just going to commit on 2 bases? Okay. We're committing. Hallucination checking for third bases. Sees nothing so far at the linear third. Confirms nothing at the triangular third either. Hooks into the main base. Check saturation. And there's the proxy. Again, 2 base all in out of Middle VK is just doubling down. Extra gateways, extra warpins. There's the extra gateway. How many do we have in total? We have 1 proxy, then we have, I believe, 5 back at home. It's 2 here at the ramp, 1 further back, and then 2 more. Yep, so 6. It's going to be a 2 base, 6 gate all in at a Middle VK. Arakbar, he did not see the gateway explosion. Did not confirm. Robo's on the way. Interesting. Oh no, he does find one of the proxies, does find the pylon and the gateway. So very nice. There's the pylon. Mindle, he does not cancel, he wants to repower that gateway. Again, it's all or nothing for Mindle. There's no macroing out of this. As Mindle, he rotates over. Kills the pylon. Let's get a pylon. Once again, trying to repower that gateway. Okay, at this point, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. This is it. And what do we have to defend? 3 batteries. 3 batteries. We have some force fields available. Middle does commit up the ramp. And he does not get the Stalker. It's a very nice wing control here by Arakbar. Oh my god. It does swing back, kills 1 Stalker. Again, has that battery advantage. When the Stalkers are going down, Middle is being forced back. The all-in so far is failing. He needs another warp in. He needs more warp ins. There's still 1 more full battery behind this as well. Arakbar over time is just outscaling. Third base, gateway explosion, charge on the way, Robo's on the way as well. Better concave for Arakbar. So far, better concave. Middle bleeding out so many units here. And it's just not been worth it. So far, not been worth it. When behind Dark Shrine, it's Dark Shrine is on the way. Again, there's still no expansion. Mindle, he's desperate for damage. Desperation out of Mindle. Wants that Dark Shrine. Sacrifice does wing in, catching out 2 Stalkers. 3. Going down at the same time, but that harass does delay some mining at least. Even forcing a recall. Alright, Pride does make it back home. He makes it. And I'd be concerned about the DTs, but there's already detection, right? The Observer's already here for Arc Fire. He has detection. Forge on the way for +1. So because they attempt to move in. They attempt towards Mindle. He just falls apart on both fronts, just getting chased down on the top side and on the south side as well. Mindle, now he expands, but again, this base is so late. Such a late expansion. The all-in has failed for Mindle VK, and he's trying to transition out of said all-in, but easier said than done. As now, Mindle, he has triggered a counterattack. Mass DT's waddling out. Waddling across. That's a kill into the cancel. Observer gets sniped, which is nice. We can go for defensive DTs. Robo gets focused. Wait, hold on. Do we have detection? 1 observer. There's 1 observer. Where are we going? Yeah, the Observer's going back home, which means Mindle VK eventually will clean this up. His DTs are killing everything. They're killing. Do we recall? Does he recall? Observer's still going home. Ah, there's a cannon. Okay. Wait, which means we need a... There's a cannon back at home. Observer doesn't know where to go. Where are we going? What's happening, Pappy? Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, messy couple of moments here as the DTs do cause a little chaos. They just snipe the Robo. So there's only 1 observer. But it's here. And GG. GG gets called. Arc Fire ties up the series 1-1. GG. Again, hyper aggression out of Mindle VK, going for the 1 base all in, but unfortunately we saw that Arc Fire, he was able to delay set all in, scout the proxy pylon as well, set up at his 3rd base, throwing down a wall of batteries, and shut the aggression down. GG. The one chance there that Mindle VK had was of course a Dark Templar, and hey, he was able to survive a little bit longer and trade somewhat well, but that's all he could do. GG. GG, well played. We're going to be getting into the ace match, game 3. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing System Gaming. Being forced into a bad series, it is Mindle VK. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player, the French Protoss. It is Arc Fire. Let's go. Let us go. So here our players are setting up. I'll say good. once again, the players are going to be opening up. We have our initial 2-gate opener back out of for MinoVK. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Arcfire as well. So far, standard openers, nothing crazy, nothing wild. Once again, we're looking to see where the second pylon is thrown down, whether we proxy, whether we don't. We have been seeing some already very aggressive builds, but usually it's been off of 2-base play. We've been seeing a lot of 2-base play by specifically MinoVK, a lot of 2-base all-ins. And we've had mixed success. Game 1 it worked, game 2 it did not. This time we'll see how Arcfire does open up himself, and we'll see if we actually get a third expansion up and running. Do we get into the mid game? Does it happen? Here to find out. That's now no proxy, no hidden pylons. Both players are going to be expanding, and then we go next hire on the way. MinoVK expands, Arcfire as well. So far, standard openers, nothing crazy, nothing wild. There's no hidden pylons, no hidden tech. From here, we should both be going into the Twilight Council, but then we can deviate once again. Just like last game, we saw that instead of MinoVK taking a third base, he went for a massive 6-gate setup into a 2-base 6-gate all-in. So yeah, the option to do so. We can take up into a Stargate, for example, and say, oh, they bust into the main. So far, they won, they get 2, they get 3, 4? 4. Yeah, 4 probes going down. Do we get 5? Oh, good. 5. Do we get 6? Arcfire, calm down. 5 probes do fall, shades into the natural, and will even waddle away. So far, a very nice start for Arcfire, as again he does take a worker advantage. Take a worker lead. When it comes to the follow-up, it's going to be a Twilight Council and a Blinker-based follow-up out of Arcfire. Meanwhile, Mindle going for the Robo. That is interesting. So the Robo can be one of two things. Either to be very aggressive with an early Prism to go across the map and do some counter damage, or we can start to build up early Immortal production instead to have a little bit of a slower early to mid-game. Regardless, Arcfire will eventually gain map control with his Blink Stalkers. Blink does allow for map control. Immortal production early on here from Mindle. Arcfire not too far behind, getting his own Robo. Not too far behind in terms of tech, I should emphasize. Still has a bit of economy. From here, we're just macroing. Arcfire once again claiming his third base. Now, this entire series, we have yet to actually experience Mindle claiming an expansion. I feel like, though, we should finally see one. We have a Forge. Forge is on the way. Forge for +1 for greater upgrades. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3 probes going down once again. Nice damage here by Arcfire. The Forge typically signifies, okay, +1 later timing mid-game play, as we're going to be waiting for +1 to finish. So Mindle should take a third, but Mindle, he's stumbling his way into the mid-game. He's already lost 10. He's down 10 workers. He's down 10 probes. He's behind when it comes to the third base timing. So if the plan here is to eventually expand and build up into the mid-game, MinoVK is going to be so far behind. But he doesn't have any aggressive options is the issue here. I say that he does throw down 2 more gates. Are we just going to stay on 2 bases and just wait for +1? I guess, yeah, okay. I guess so. I guess we are. I mean, it kind of makes sense just because Mindle's so far behind. He has lost a lot of workers this game. But it's just such a delayed 2-base all-in, if that's the case. Arcry moving out to engage ahead of time. To chip away at the army. Oh, blinks into the main. Arcry blinks in. Gets a pylon. Confirms 2 gateways, confirms no expansion. He blinks away as well. And yeah, it's all or nothing for Mindle. Oh, does get some free stalkers? Okay, okay. Something going Mindle's way. Catching a couple of free stalkers. But the problem here is that the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Arcfire. Arcfire, he's already on 3-base saturation. He's already on full saturation. As we tells me click a little bit. Looks like Force Field is the same hotkey as the Assimilator. Bay's on the way for disruptors. Charge lots are going to be amassing. Arcfire blinks back in, catching a pylon. That's one. Just the one pylon. And unfortunately, I feel like this all-in from MindoVK doesn't really have a lot of teeth behind it, right? Like, there's just not... Yes, we have 4 immortals. That is a really high immortal count. That's true. But, Arcfire should have plenty of gateway units to buffer into tank. Should. We'll see. We shall see. Maybe I'm underestimating the strength of the Immortal. Bearing in mind we have 2 Archons already, so that's ideally to help deal with the Zealots. But there's no answer for the Disruptor. That's the big issue here. There's no answer for the Disruptors. Mindle, he breaks out. Breaks out, pushing across the map. At the same time, Arcfire, he does go for the backstab. And back at home, what do you have to defend? We have 2 Immortals, 1 Archon, and 1 Disruptor. Stalkers that will kill the natural, and from here we can recall. Oh, there's a recall. There's a recall back home. Disruptor has arrived, shows it over. So far, we're holding on to it. Never goes off. Never connects. Oh my god. The Disruptor does go down, but alas, we just blink in. We go for the dive. We deny the warp in, and with that MindoVK, he's run out of steam, he's run out of army. The Immortals are being focused out one after the other. Again, GG gets called, and Arcfire, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Went all the way to the ace match, went all the way to game 3, and again, it was just a really shaky start for MindoVK. Every game actually went for a 2-base all-in, and initially it worked, but over time we saw that Arcfire, he was able to get into a better and better position. Especially here in the ace match, we saw so many workers going down, 10 plus probes falling early on. So it wasn't just a 2-base all-in by MindoVK, it was a stifled, it was a weakened 2-base all-in because of all that damage, right? Because of all the economic damage, because of all the probe losses, and likewise because of the scouting as well, and the stalker harassing to the main base, catching pylons, depowering gateways. Again, it was just slowed down so heavily. By the time the all-in arrived, it was too late. It was too late. There was already plenty to work with. We already had a Disruptor, Immortals, Archons. GG. GG, well played. With that, Arcfire, he will claim the series, and with that, we're getting ready for our next matchup. Now, we are going to be going on a short break. Here, so to take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain Disruptors, massage Marines. We will soon return here with our next matchup. It is going to be a best of 3 between Baby Marine and Goblin. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we returned. We returned here with our next, with the OSC Mid Season Playoffs, number 1, day 6 for 2026. We are back. We've returned, and we're jumping into our 4th series of the broadcast. Again, we're halfway through the broadcast here. We're jumping into our fresh PvT and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the teal Protoss player, the teal Protoss from land of Croatia. It is Goblin. So, oh my god. Let's go. As what we open with a proxy. We have 1, we have 2 SCVs being sent across the map. Baby Marine does open up with a proxy 2x Reaper, and we'll see how Goblin, if he's able to scout and react in time. Oh boy. As again, the Raxes are going to be on the way. Goblin is moving out the probe scout, thankfully. So Goblin, he will probe scout across the map. Goblin, he will try to confirm what is going on. Before I forget, of course, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Now, this probe scout will confirm that a Rax is missing. That is true. And that should prompt Goblin to check specifically the third locations. We have the triangular third and we have the linear third. These are the 2 common proxy locations, and Baby Marine happens to be at one of the common locations. So Goblin, there we go, he pokes up the ramp, he does confirm Rax is missing, and we should be seeing a scout nearby. Yep, there it is. Goblin, he does check it right outside of his main before getting his Nexus up and running. There we go, taking a second gas first. Does take a second gas. Guys are confirming 1 gas across the map. It is going to be, sorry, I thought it was going to be Proxy 2x Reaper. No, Proxy 2x Marauder Rush. Oh boy, that's double Tech Lab, double Marauders are going to be coming. Goblin does not attempt to expand. He does play it safe instead, going Zealot first instead, but he doesn't check with the probe. He doesn't go for the second probe scout here, so he has very limited information to work with. But he is taking it seriously nonetheless, thankfully. There we go. Blind battery on the ramp. I say blind, again, he knows that the Rax is somewhere else. As the probe is still on patrol. First Marauder has arrived, and here comes Baby Marine. He's pushing out the ramp. Defensive robo here for Goblin. Will allow for the Prism for Immortal production. The Immortal is revealed. Goblin now knows. There's 2 more batteries. And 2 more batteries on the way. And so far, Goblin, he will deny high ground vision. Takes down the SCV. Takes down the SCV. Does force a cancel on the bunker. So far, strong defense here by Goblin. So far, so good. Goblin even winning out this fight as well. Oh, no, never mind. Goblin has to pull away. Behind this, we're actually transitioning back at home. Factory back at home into Cyclone. The Raxes are floating back. And this is where now I'm concerned for Goblin, because he did double down here, getting into 4 batteries. Goblin has to recognize soon that Baby Marine, he's transitioning out of this. Now, thankfully, Goblin is going for the War Prism, so he can counterattack. There's a cancel. And there's a cancellation. Prism is coming. Goblin, he did scout, he did confirm the CC that's on the way. So Goblin is aware. He was able to get the rescouts. And now the pressure's on. The turns have tabled. Goblin moving out. The issue here is that 3 Marauders defensively back at home. I mean, that should be fine for Baby Marine. Should be looking solid. That should be solid. Drop into the main. The boys are being pulled, the Marauders, they hold their own. And Baby Marine defends. Yeah, he does defend. From here, we're just going to be getting into a longer game. The game will continue. Baby Marine with a much faster CC and Goblin with a much later Nexus. So we later expand. After a very aggressive start here, again, we're transitioning into the early to mid game. And coming into this, I do favor Baby Marine. Does have the faster base, going to have the faster second mule, has a higher SCV count to begin with. So far, again, a stronger start for the Terran. It's on the Goblin to find some damage, true. Needs to find some damage. He does break down the depot at least. Logan is broken. Nice force fields. He locks in one of the Marauders. Yeah, 2 Marines and a Marauder. Very nice pickoffs. Nice catch. Again, this is kind of damage that Goblin needs to find because he's behind. The reality is that he's behind, so he has to find damage. Lock on the Prism. Prism will break the lock on. Second depot is under fire. Takes down the depot and the tech lab. Once again, we should break the lock on. Oh, not quite able to. Zealot goes down. Yeah, Zealot goes down. We do move in. Boys are being pulled. Now there's 2 Cyclones. Uh-oh. Now 2 Cyclones. Nice force fields. Does buy some time. Oh, the Prism. The Prism goes down to the Viking. Oh my god. Prism goes down, but that's still going to be 7 SCV kills. That's a lot of damage. Did I say 7? Getting up to 11. 11 SCVs. Catching out a Cyclone as well. Better traits for Goblin. He's overwhelming. Did waste a shot here on the plates. Yeah, did waste a shot. And will be cleaned up. But this is still a lot of damage here. 12 workers going down. It picks up how many Cyclones? 1 Cyclone, 1 Viking, 5 Marines, 3 Marauders. Very nice trades here for Goblin. And even though initially he had to later expand, now he's up in perps. He's up by 10 workers here, so he has a greater economy. And back at home, he's rebuilding his Immortals and rebuilding his Prism as well. He's ready for any kind of counterattack. With 2 Immortals, he is fine. One thing that is lacking is anti-air. We have 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. So Goblin's going to be careful. The Viking on the hunt. Can also land for Harass. True. Can also land. Goblin, he does move out. He does bypass the entire army. We're going for the base raid. Let's go. We're going for the base raid. Boys are being pulled with good enough juggling. Nothing should go down. The Immortal is sustaining some damage here. At the same time, Land of Viking is zoned away. Drop into the natural. Getting on top of the Immortal. 1 Sentry does get picked off. Oh, but late control here by Goblin. Oh no, save the Immortal! Oh my god, it's gonna get down! Jesus. Again, late control there by Goblin. Again, he was focusing at home. Is defending. Yeah, he does have back at home. Meanwhile, ooh, he'll bleed out a Stalker, but despite that, 5 SCVs. Only 5 SCVs left. GG gets called, and Goblin, he takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Goblin, he'll take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense, very messy start to the game. Baymarine, initially, he had the better start. Remember, he was able to transition cleanly in towards the natural. He was up in workers, faster CC, but he did force the counterattack, and that is why Goblin, there was so much pressure on him to do some damage, and he was able to do so. Remember, he killed a Viking, a Cyclone, he killed 2 depots, he killed the Tech Lab, and he killed 11 SCVs. That was crazy damage across the map, and with that, he more than equalized. He took a lead after the early damage. GG. GG well played. Goblin is snowballed out of control. Thankfully, he wasn't passive, right? That would be the worst case scenario, is if he was too passive in the aftermath of the defense and he stayed at home, and then Baymarine just skyrocketed ahead, or he would skyrocket ahead. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the red Terran player. We have the Italian Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. Hello. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have getting proxied once again, as I did see that rally. Oh, where are we going? We'll keep an eye on Baby Marine. Never mind. We have the Croatian Protoss. We have the Teal Protoss. It is Goblin. And looks like we have a fake proxy. Okay, so Baymarine, initially he was rallied to the 3rd location, but instead he does re-rally to his own 3rd location instead, going for a fake proxy. The way this works here is that if Goblin goes for a probe scout, and he is, and Goblin sees the missing Rex, the hope is that Goblin overreacts, right? The Goblin intentionally does not take his natural and sets up in the main base with a battery, with a robo as well, with another gateway, and overreacts. We can see that it's a fake out. The Rax is on Baymarine's side of the map, and he can always float back home. So we'll see if Goblin takes the bait. Goblin checks further in the main, just to confirm. Now checks behind the mineral line. It is not unheard of to hide the racks further back inside the main base, or at the natural, or at the third. So it's on Goblin to confirm. From here, there's going to be a Stargate opener after the Nexus. So overall, a good call here by Goblin. He didn't overreact. He didn't get extra batteries. The Reaper will poke in, and Goblin, he also reconfirms the factory and the CC back at home. So he knows. So honestly, very nicely done here. Again, no major reaction out of Goblin. Building up into his own Stargate. Now, this is risky. We bring this up all the time, but Stargate openers are very risky in this matchup. They can work wonders, and personally, I feel like they're safer when it comes to mid-game play, but the Reaper gets in. The Reaper does not get a scat off, thankfully, but typically Stargate openers do leave Protoss players vulnerable to 2-base all-ins. 2-base aggression here hits very hard, and the Stargate does not really help too much when it comes to defensive play. The Oracle is being cornered as we speak. And back in Baby Marine just settling into his own 1-1-1. Looking to go for his own Widowmine drop. As Goblin is going to have a delayed Twilight Council and delayed tech, delayed upgrades. Assuming we don't go Phoenixes, this should be into Blink, otherwise we may go into Charge. Goblin does fan out on the right hand side. Fans out. This is going to be a little bit more of a committed mine drop here with 3 Widow Mines, not 2. Okay. Drop loads up. Marine, he does move out. As he moves out, the Oracle's going to be moving in. And we'll see who comes out on top. Shall see. The Oracle moves in. SCV's going to be going down. So far so good. And getting 1, 2, 3 SCV kills. Very nice damage. Mine drop is going to be denied. And so far, Goblin is keeping up quite well. It's looking good. Oh. Yeah, Widowmine drop is denied. Gonna be zoned away. What I will say is, thankfully, Baby Marine does keep the units alive for the most part. He will still lose 1 of the Widowmines, but does escape with the other 2. So it could have been a lot worse. I mean, ideally, we get some damage regardless, but it could have been worse. And so far, Goblin's looking solid. Goblin doesn't fall for the bait. He defends. Baby Marine, he does move out. Now, again, this push is prompted by the Stargate opener. What did we say at the start of the game? Stargate openers do leave you vulnerable to 2-base all-ins, and we're rallying everything across the map. It's all or nothing here for Baby Marine. He commits. The tank does siege. It was not slowed down ahead of time. Ooh, when he sets up outside of the natural. Blink is finishing. We're going to have minimal stalkers to work with. Goblin, did he go 2-gate? He's going up to 4. But again, he went for the faster third as well. Marine gaining ground, throwing down more bunkers. Again, this is meant to kill. It's all or nothing. There's no stim, no combat shields, no upgrades on the way. Second tank has arrived. And he's got a second tank. Tank wall is going off. Battery goes down. Baby Marine forcing his way further in. Is now within range of the Nexus. Oof. The Stalkers, they try to come in from behind the mine shot. Oh my god. Mind Shot does not go off. Bunkers are done. And Goblin is counterattacking. He's counterattacking across the map instead. Meanwhile, that Nexus is getting very low. Again, no more shields. Down to less than half HP. Yeah, with that, there's no saving the base. The Nexus does fall. At the same time, Stalkers are coming from behind. They go for the blink. Goes to the blink. He gets one, he gets two. He will clean this up. But after losing the base, and that's still 12 probes going down, it's still a trade. As Baberine, he does trade as best he can. He holds his own, picks up more Stalkers. Barely gets away with the medevac. And as that settles, where are we? Goblin is down to 36 probes. At least he has the third, and he will be able to transfer over. So at least he has an economy to work with, but it is very small. A very, very small economy. Baberine, he's ahead. He's up in workers. He's up in bases. Third CC is almost done. Goblin, he needs to counterattack. Yes, he's got to go for it. He's got to send it. Oh. He's got to send it back. Does have accurate vision with the Oracle. He can deny Stim, true. Stim is exposed. He gets it. One more volley. What a mess. Oh my god, Stim is denied. So nice pick up here from Goblin. Delays some of the upgrades. Catching out a reactor as well. A reactor and tech lab. Stim has to restart. And some damage is dealt at the same time. Liberator gets across the map, getting 3 more probes, denying mining. Some more brutal damage here. And so far, Baberine is in a better position. Goblin still has potential with this army, don't get me wrong. He can try to catch a medevac, a tank, any stray units, or blink back into the main. So now trying to do this with the main army. Once again, going to be zoned back. Back, zone away. Oracle does hit the natural. Gonna be deflected. And with that, Baberine is holding. He's holding on, and the big power spike is on the way with Stim. Stim +1, combat shields, 1-1 upgrades even. It's all on the horizon. It's all coming. Until that happens, Baberine is happy to just defend. Happy to defend, happy to enjoy that greater economy. At this point in the standard game, Goblin should already have a 4th up and running. There should already be a 4th base. But alas, there is none. Goblin moving in, does have Storm. High Templar looking for a juicy Storm. Oh god. Gonna be sent away. Templar, they move in and they will storm the main army. Yeah, not a bad storm. As both tanks go down. Yeah, it does break through the siege line, but no more zealots. Yeah, we need more charges here. There's no prism. There's no prism. There's nowhere to warp in across the map. Both High Templar did just go down. So an expensive trade for Goblin. Very expensive. He lost 2 Templar, 6 Stalkers. Oof. Here comes Baby Marine. Let's catch up the Prism. Prism goes down. Can depower the Robo. Just diving straight into the mineral line instead, and we're going for the quote-unquote base trade. We're going for the pseudo base trade here still because they bust into the natural. Meanwhile, Baberine inside of the natural as well. Here come the storms. True, the storms. Oh my god. Force to pick up. It does force to pick up. Now jumping into the main. Due to those feedbacks, there's only 1 storm left. True. Just the one. Soldiers, oh no, they get punished for the blink, get brutal connections. Yeah, ghosts have arrived, they can EMP, they can clean this up at the same time, storm into the mineral line. Baberine, he's still pulling his opponent apart. He does kill one of the High Templar, forcing the Archon. And Baberine, he comes out on top here. killing 21 probes in total. 21 worker kills, the High Templar, the War Prism. Baby Marine's still up in economy. Far ahead in economy. And here comes the main push. There are 2 High Templar remaining. They're behind the army. They need time. They do need time here for energy. Oof, what am I say? Punish the Stalkers. Blink goes on cooldown. Yeah, Blink goes on cooldown. At the same time, we do have to drop across the map. And Marine just has to chill. Like, he's just perfecting his army, building up his ghost count. I believe he's currently unaware as to the Colossus that are on the way, so there's no Vikings yet for Baby Marine. That is the one thing that he's missing. It's the Viking count. But outside of that, is looking solid. As the first Colossus has arrived. Baby Marine going for the push. Oh. Tells go for the main push. Nice CMPs here on the High Templar. There was only one storm. Just the one. Only one storm. We have another Templar coming in, and I believe there is soon to be one storm available. There we go. Yeah, one storm now available. Goblin trying to hold his own. At the same time, that's only half the army. The other half does hit the third. Meanwhile, we do see Baby Marine getting caught out here. This is expensive, losing 2 ghosts. Yeah, 2 ghosts getting caught. Baby Marine losing a lot of supply there. Getting a little bit careless. Let's get careless. Loads up, going for another double drop. Baby Marine, he's far enough ahead where he can afford some mistakes, so this is still okay. But he does need to be careful. Going to get a decent storm. You see Goblin double expanding, going straight for the 5th expansion. It's a very bold move here from Goblin, but he has to do something drastic. He needs to expand. I mean, he is banking resources as well. How many gateways is he on? Only on 8. And it looks like he's recognized as well. He's like, I need to spend my money. He gets an Nexus, throws down a wall of gateways. Goblin's macro was slipping. It was slipping, but so do get into the middle line, not bad. 13 SCVs, but now we have Vikings. Oof, now we have Vikings. Gets a Colossus. And remember earlier we mentioned this is the one thing that Baby Marine he was missing. Now he has it. And Vikings, they just bully the army, getting 1, getting 2, getting soon to be 3 Colossus. The other Colossus is going to be going down at the same time. 20 SCV kills. These Zealots are popping up. The charge lots. They cripple the economy, killing all the SCVs. And this is nice damage, but Baby Marine is pushing. Like, it all comes down to the main army. Do we have any High Templar? There's one Templar, there's one Storm. Storm does not connect with the main army. There are 0 Colossus remaining. There's 1 Disruptor on the way. Baby Marine commits. He is overstimmed. Oh my god, heavily overstimmed. And he might not have enough here. Vikings, we got to land. Nice snipes. Jesus. Nice snipes of Baby Marine. Turns away the main army. Getting 15 probe kills. And again, we're getting to a very messy, a much more back and forth mid-game here. Baby Marine, though, still ahead. Still took the better fights, kill the expansion. Okay, Goblin, he can no longer keep up. There's a world where maybe if he lands the juiciest storms and purification overs, then he can still take a fight, but he needs to rely on that happening at this point. Especially with Baby Marine now taking up in towards Liberator production. Fusion Core is done, Liberator range is on the way. That is the ideal. It's going to be ideal. Oh. Yeah, nice EMPs. Getting the High Templar, then one of the only chances. Nice Stasis Trap going off in the main army. Very nice. Found another Disruptor. Disruptor's exposed. Does go down. Vikings, they snipe another Colossus. Down to one. One Colossus left. And again, Goblin, he did recover from the early game. Like, he was able to build back up, and that was impressive, but still being outscaled by the quality of the main army. Nice Storm. So once again, Baby Marine is scanning, trying to get eyes on the economy. I don't think he's aware of bottom right. No, he is. Okay.
Upgrade complete.
He's aware of bottom right. Waiting for that right hand side rotation. Goblin's keeping up. Does have storms. EMP on the Zealots. EMP on the Colossus. Storms are still coming in. But they're not connecting. And they're major connections. Where that Colossus goes down. 0 splash damage. And Goblin's being overwhelmed. At this one, they cannot fight this main army. No without splash damage. No without Zealots. To open away to charge shots. There's the energy overcharge as well. Celtic collapses on the wire. Storm also trying to come in. Trying to. And it's impressive that Goblin's been able to tread water for as long as he has, but it's just been treading water. And there it is. Liberation has finally arrived. It's got the Liberation. Baby GG gets called, and Baby Marine ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match here. Running it back again, it was a Stargate opener out of Goblin. Sorry, I say that. Initially, it was the fake out, so the fake proxy from Baby Marine. Goblin did not fall for it. He went for his own Stargate follow-up. We saw that the Stargate opener wasn't really worth it, and in the end, it actually hurt Goblin more than anything, as Baby Marine went for a very committed early game push, basically an all-in. He was able to break and kill the natural Nexus. Remember, he killed the Nexus. There was still the third base, and that allowed Goblin to stay in the game, but he was playing from behind. He was trying to recover economically. Eventually, he was able to catch up, and we did have a bit of a back and forth mid-game, a little bit, but Baby Marine still had the lead, and eventually he was able to re-secure himself by catching out the army, by outscaling, taking up into Ghosts, eventually the Vikings as well. He was just that one step ahead after killing the natural at the beginning of the game. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match. We're tied up 1-1. We're going to game 3. Oh, a crazy map as well. For those that are unaware, this tournament does feature an extended map pool. What does that mean? That means that we do have some older maps voted in by the players. Up next, Submarine. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Submarine, we have the Croatian Protoss player, the Teal Protoss, being forced into a tied series. It is Goblin. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the Italian Terran player. We have the red Terran. For Streamer Zone, it is Baby Marine. Let's go. Let us go as we're getting into game number 3, the ace match here. It all ends on Submarine. Submarine, those that don't remember, I believe was in the map pool. Was it end of 2021? Was either end of 2021 or beginning of 2022? but this was in the map pool during the early years of the COVID era of StarCraft, and it's been quite some time since we've experienced maps on Submarine. As I mentioned before, so OSC, they do feature an extended map pool where players, they vote on maps. They do vote on maps, and Submarine was voted to be added to the map pool alongside Beckett Industries, and there's one other map that's slipping my mind. Let me just double check. So it's Submarine, Beckett Industries, and Tokamak. Oh, there you go. And Tokamak, which is a more modern, more recent map. So now our players are going to be settling in. This time there's no fake proxy gateway. Oh, sorry, proxy racks, I meant to say. This time Baby Marine, his racks is back at home, but double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC, a bit of a more tech heavy start out of Baby Marine. And Goblin, he did not get into the main. So Goblin is not fully aware. For all Goblin knows, there could be a CC here. There could be a CC on the high ground to expand and to float down towards the natural base. So Goblin playing a little bit blind. Likewise, behind this is going to be a reactor in the after. It does go Reaper reactor into factory. Let's move in. Infamously, Submarine had a very short rush distance, by ground, a very direct attack path as well. I say direct, like looking back on a quote-unquote, it is an older map technically, but comparing this to Tourmaline, like we have some decent positions here to engage. We have choke points here in the center, we have an elevated position here in the center of the map as well. Like these are locations where you can engage with the army ahead of time to slow it down. This is something that's missing, for example, from Tourmaline. True. Is missing. Tuttle spoke in, confirming the CC. And this time Goblin is going for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. Not Stargate this time. As Baby Marine is doubling down, going into... Oh, I was going to say Reacted Reaper Hellion, but hey, there we go. Reacted Reaper Hellion. So very aggressive, very committed play here by Baby Marine. Now the goal here is economic damage. Is to overwhelm the Gateway Army, to bust into a mineral line, either the natural or the main base, or both, and then pop off. Baby Marine, he does lose a Reaper already, true. His move is already a little bit weaker. So he's got 2 Reapers actually. Ooh, some heavy losses for Baby Marine. Every unit counts. Does catch a Stalker. It's 1. Does get a Reaper. The rest diving into the main. Hellion towards the natural. So far we do have a full wall here at the natural base, so Goblin, he's ready. Oh, I spoke too soon. He gets in. The Reapers, they bust in, and they don't get much done. A bit of miscontrol. They did attack the Nexus for a moment there, so they did waste a volley. And Goblin is holding. At the same time, 3 Hellions, they can one-shot. Ooh, they can one-shot probes, and they will one-shot. Getting 6 probe kills so far. Still not done, getting it to 7. Oh no, they're lining up. 1 more volley. 9 probes going down. Oof, critical damage dealt here early on. Goblin's taking his 3rd base. Meanwhile, Baby Marine, he's not done, by the way. He's building up early tanks for an early push. We'll see if we move out with the 2 tanks or if we do just set up defensively. Bunkers on the way, so it looks like we're just setting up defensively. Happy to enjoy our economic lead. Predators poke into the main. Denies mining. Yeah, here we go. Here comes the main push. If you recall, the moment that I saw the bunker being built, I was like, oh, I guess we're just not going to push. Nah, we're still going for it. We're still going for it. Bay Marine does get a third CC behind this, which is interesting to me. Remember, there's no stim with this. There's no stim. There's no combat shields. This is very dedicated play here by Bay Marine, moving out with his 2 tanks. They are the backbone of this army. And he is within range of the third. Oh. And this is all he wanted. He just wants to kill the third base. He doesn't need to kill. He doesn't need to kill Goblin, I mean. Just bring down the third. Goblin catching reinforcements. Comes in from behind. Bay Marine does react, does pull away, but he will still lose a tank. Massive pickup. Tank goes down. Nexus falls. And Bay Marine is going to keep pushing. He's going to keep moving in. Yeah, Stalkers, they don't quite make it through. Stalkers, they try to commit in. Going for the dive. He gets one. He gets one tank and he'll get the other as well. Yeah, 2 tanks go down, and with that, the Stalkers, they will clean this up, but damage has been dealt already. Already killed the third base. Already disrupted the production. There's some mass cancellations. And Bay Marine once again enjoying the better economy, and he's still building up. He's got a faster third CC. It's already done. Just morphing in the orbital. Getting into stim. Getting into that later push. You know, Goblin is desperate. Catching out some depots. Getting a couple of depots. Getting a Marine. Nicely done. Ideally, Goblin wants more than this. Still looking for more. Oh. He's looking for more damage. Now they're poking in, dishing out a lot of damage here to the CC. Does have Icon Vision, okay. Dives into the main. Oh, the Prism. Okay, I was like, what? The Prism was in position. Catching up some add-ons. Can always bring back down. And the tank is exposed. Bay Marine, he's just being pulled apart here. Yeah, mining is denied, losing a tank as well. Very nice damage out of Goblin. What he needs. Gets more CVs. Catching out 5 more SCVs. Bay Marine scans. He sees like, ooh, what should have been an economic lead for Bay Marine. He's losing that lead. Still retains a very high worker count and still does retake his third. But Goblin's getting his 4th. He's getting his 4th base. Brings him back into the main base. Tide is not done in time. Back in. Okay, Goblin just nibbling away at Bay Marine. Splitting out one unit at a time. It does add up. And the aggression so far, it's not ending. Well, Goblin contains, of course. He's now reinforcing with his main army. We got Colossus massing behind this as well. And there's going to be a window in time where Goblin, he can hit with Colossus before there are ghosts and before there are liberators. They're still on the way. Honey Vikings, 0. Right, there's 0 Vikings. Zell laps in and gets up the Marauders. Nice focus firing here on the first tank. Gets one. Now getting both. Yeah, both tanks go down. Massive damage. He has broken the 3rd expansion, and Goblin, he snowballs out of control. I say that he does not actually get into the 3rd TC. Into that mineral line. Ah, I spoke too soon. 8 SCVs. 8 SCVs going down, forcing friendly fire. It's still quite close. Liberation has arrived. Oh. Yeah, blinks in. He gets punished for the blink. Still very tense. Probe's probe count. Sorry, Goblin's probe count is not amazing either. Actually, still down in workers. He's still lacking. Blinks in. He does catch both tanks. Okay. 2 tanks go down. A very nice trades here from Goblin, picking off 2 liberators as well. These also being thrown away. But these are efficient trades. And the Warbrands, oh, they just keep on coming. They keep on coming, Pappy. I did mention earlier that at this point the third base is broken, but there it is. He breaks on through. GG gets called, and Goblin, he will claim the series 2-1, taking down Baby Marine. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Very intense back and forth. Very, very intense here. They both had their own moments in this game. Initially, Baby Marine, he was able to gain momentum himself, but did eventually lose that lead. Goblin, there was a lot of pressure on Goblin to find some damage, and he was being so proactive, right? With his stalkers, catching out tanks, getting SCVs, blinking into the main base, blinking back down as well. It all did add up over time. In the end, we saw that Baby Marine, he was stuck at home. He was struggling to defend. Meanwhile, we saw that Goblin was able to freely just get a 4th base, macro up, get into Colossus, and sustain his army, of course. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that. Baby Marine, he's out. Baby Marine, he's... Oh, wait, did I set the wrong... There we go. Hold on. Uh-oh. As I might have selected the wrong winner there. My apologies, my apologies. As Goblin does claim the series. I'm a little bit out of it right now, so I do apologize for that. Goblin does claim the series. We'll claim the series here, and with that, we have our next matchup. It is going to be a PvP between Jumi and Sebestus. Yeah, let's go. Let us go. Getting into our PvPs. But with a Goblin does win the series. I do apologize for the incorrect scores for that final predictions. Sorry, oh god. As we're getting into our fresh best of 3 here, and spawning in the right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Protoss player, the German Protoss. It is for Streamer Zone Jimmy. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy. It is Sebestus. Aye. So we gotta wake up, Pappy. We gotta wake up. Gotta lock in. Oh god, Jimmy, he's trying to reason with Sebestus. Oh no. Next game, Zerg, if you win first. Nice try, buddy. You're low-key getting cooked. Razivz was never in trouble. Oh no. But here we go, we're getting into our PvP. And from here, again, it is Gamba time. The ZVZ. Probably Jumu 5 point. I mean, 5.2k Zerg is not bad, by the way. It's not bad. But if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Get your Gamba going. Go. As Sebestus, he does open up with a proxy on the right hand side. It is on Sebestus' side of the map. Bear that in mind. Okay. True. Ah. God. To alike, Pappy, to alike. This is Proxy Rover. Proxy Rover 1 base soul in here out of Sebestus. He commits. He does commit, Pappy. Going for the 1 base soul in. Meanwhile, Jimmy back at home does go for a Stargate opener himself. So we have Stargate opener versus Proxy Robo. This is going to be interesting. So technically, this can lead into defensive Void Rays and defensive Phoenixes, but it should be Oracle first. And likewise, we should be seeing a Prism into Gateway Aggression here from Sebestus. Again, it is going to be the all-in. Sebestus does confirm. Does confirm what's going on across the map. So here comes our Prism. Jimmy does scout, by the way. Does scout, does confirm. Does get eyes on this. Does get eyes on the Robo. Sebestus will save it. Comes back to defend. Prism is out. Back at home, Jimmy's still going for the Oracle first. Again, this is a very bold move. With the Oracle, he can move out across the map and try to cripple the economy. Going for his own defensive Robo. Defensive Robo on the way. Battery in the mineral line. It's setting up. And already transitioning as well into a Twilight Council. We're being a little bit chaotic here in terms of our resource spendage and in terms of our tech. It's a little bit chaotic. It'll take a long time to get into Blink or into Dark Templar, whatever the plan is. Robo will be depowered. No Immortals. But it's still nothing for Sebestus. True. Jimmy does move in. And Jimmy moves in. Again, the battery's in position. Sebestus he commits. Jimmy, he has 2 batteries on the way. It's now done. He has a second Oracle. Crazy. Oh my god, the stasis! Brutal stasis trap here, catching at every single probe in the main base mineral line. Not like this, papi, not like this. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Jimmy. The better it will be. As Jimmy, he will lose both gateways. But he's got his batteries. He will have the Immortal as well. He may not even lose that second gateway. The Immortal will pop out. Oh yeah, the gateway will still fall. The Immortal has arrived. Back across the map. We're just getting probes of 3, 4, 5, 6 probe kills across the map. Crazy damage. Not like this. Sebestus, he is defending back at home, but again, the reality is that Jimmy has a better economy. And Jimmy, he will soon be able to break out with his own Prism. Sebestus is in trouble. Okay, does that blink? Is revealed. Does reveal. Blink. Sorry, Jimmy's still going for his own Twilight Council as well. Can go into Blink himself. Oh, actually, is he bold enough to go for a Dark Templar? To go for a Dark Shrine? Because the Robo's depowered for Sebestus, and there's no backup Robo. There's 0 detection right now. Okay. Just Blink. He's not that crazy. Not that crazy. Jesus. Stasis trap goes off, catching us versus reinforcements. We're still waiting for Jimmy's breakout, and it looks like he can finally break out. You can see he's dropping on the low grounds. Blink is halfway done. Slowly just elevating down, which means force fields are not going to be good enough. So he doesn't see this. Doesn't see the elevator. Ta-da! And here we go, we come in. We push down the ramp, there is a force field, but again, Immortals, they've made it down. And Jimmy, he's broken free. He's broken free from the contain. Now Londis is mining. This would be Jimmy's moment to push. Would be his moment. Here he comes. Again, when it comes to the main army compositions, I do favor Jimmy as another stage. Oh my god, the Sage Rats, they've just been popping up here this game. They just keep popping up. So catch out a couple of extra Stalkers. Sebestos still has a pretty high Stalker count, that is true. And of course he has Blink, he can try to bypass the army. There it is, Dark Shrine on the way for Sebestos. One behind, Dark Shrine. But I believe Jimmy, I mean he has a Robo, he already has an Observer as well. He should be fine. He has the tools to defend, it's maybe a better way of putting it. Has the tools. Gets the best as he tries to way through. Now we're up to 4 Immortals. Behind this, again, it's just been very, very tech heavy here. Like even now, Jimmy's going into Disruptors. Like what the hell? Sebestos is now claiming a 3rd base and can now start to take an economic lead. He locked himself in. Oh, that's a little bit awkward. Locked himself in. But Jimmy is so 2-base dedicated. Getting a Gateway Explosion, into Forge, into Bay, into +1, into Disruptors. Jesus. Jimmy gets in. Jumps into the main. Nice damage. Once again, Jimmy's still maintaining his economic lead, actually. Probes, shades further in, getting 6, 7, 6. Yeah, 6 probes going down at the same time. We do attempt to harass the bases here, but there are cannons in position. Our Templar, they do nothing. Game continues. Sebestos' probes count is still very low, but if given time, we'll make up for it. Ward ups into the main. This time Sebestos, he's more prepared for it. It should be, but he will still start losing probes. Losing 2 more probes. Disruptors have arrived. Let's have the Disruptors. Finally claiming his 3rd. At this point, Sebestos can take a 4th base. Oh, never goes off. Sebestos, he does notice. Does reactors pull away. With Shadow Stride in production for Sebestos. Okay. Sure. ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no? So jumping in. Ooh, oh my god, as Novas, they connect. Oh, that should not have happened. Massive connections, massive Novas. We do see Sebestus, he plummets in supply. That was how many Stalkers? 17? Oh boy. That's an army right there. 17 Stalkers just caught out. Sebestus, he just plummeted so much with 20 supply. Oh god, no, he takes all the Novas to the GG. 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 Sebestus took every stasis trap to the face and every Nova to the face as well. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played with that. Jimmy does take a lead in this series. Ay, ay, ay. That was brutal. That was brutal. GG, well played. With that, Jimmy takes a lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Let's go. Let us go. But against Sebestus, if he didn't take said stasis traps and Novas to the face, I mean, he was in a good position, able to build up and gain map control, get a 4th base up and running, and build up a stronger, greater army, I should say. But, oh boy, that was brutal. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Jimmy. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player, the yellow Protoss himself, representing Czechia, from the land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy. It is Sebestus. Let us go. Packs are optional. Oh no, I just made a mistake earlier. My apologies. In regards to the prediction outcome. My apologies. I think that's the first time this ever happened, by the way, but just a little bit out of it. Yeah, so now we are going to be opening up 2-gate opener here by Jimmy. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Sebestus. We saw they were very chatty at the start of the last game, but now this time, no, we're locked in. We're locked in, baby. Sebestus is going for a fake proxy here, the pylon behind the main base mineral line, so he's going for the fake out. Meanwhile, Jimmy, are we going for a very real proxy himself? He sets up here towards the high yield gas geyser on the right hand side. Show us what you got. Just scouting. Okay, just scouting, no commitment, making sure everything's on the up and up. But again, those Novas were crazy. As Jimmy throws out a second pylon inside of the main, so there's no fake out of Jimmy. So far, mirrored builds, just in a slightly different way, of course. Talking about the player banter. Fair enough, fair enough. Oh good, oh good. Meanwhile, Sebestus is going for his own robot opener back at home. Sebestus, did he scout? No, he didn't. Oof. Oh, no, sorry, he did see the second pylon. Okay, okay. So Sebestus, he's going for his own robo. This will be ideal defensively against, say, a committed proxy all-in, but Jimmy's playing standard. Jimmy's playing standard. Probe does move down here to the main base. Does not scout the main, though. Jimmy playing blind. But he has scouted everywhere. I think the only place on the map he hasn't scouted is specifically this little strip here at the low ground third, and this area here, which Jimmy is scouting as well, by the way. So Jimmy, he's literally checked every location on the map, except for, again, this strip here at the low ground third, this strip here. Now he's checking, being very thorough, very thorough. Jimmy's in for the scouts. Behind this robo follow-up after the Nexus, so Jimmy does have the faster expand. Jimmy getting into a better economy. And we'll see how hard Sebestos commits. Does have that robo. Fun fact, we don't really see much with this yet. Just the initial war prism. Does go prism. No immortals behind this. Going for the early push. And Jimmy back at home. He has one battery to defend. He has immortals on the way as well. Jimmy setting up in the main. Setting up in the main. Nice force fields. Ooh, locks down the army. He does try to lock him down. Likewise, we have some okay juggling here by Sebestos so far. Oh god, does sustain some losses though. That's one, two stalkers falling. Prism too far back, losing another stalker. Oh, the prism goes down as well. Ay, ay, ay. Heavy losses here from Sebestos. He gets out traded, and remember, behind this, Jimmy has the base. He has the faster expansion, has the better economy as well. Jimmy canceling, recognizing he does not need the battery. And Jimmy takes the lead. It's a very comfortable lead here. As Jimmy up in terms of the quality of the army, in terms of immortals. Has a better economy, faster natural. From here the game will continue. The pressure's on Sebestos. He's going for a Twilight Council. Do we see Dark Templar again, or do we turn this into Glaive Adepts into a 2-base all-in? So eyes on Sebestos to see if he goes in Glaives or Blink. This is Dust Scout. Does split gateways. You can see him do the double take, reconfirming. Attack the gateway explosion. Twilight Council's done. What's it gonna be? Link out of Jimmy. And yep, it is Glaives. As we alluded to earlier here, Glaive Adepts is for a 2-base all-in. Because of the earlier losses and because Sebestos is behind, he's forced to be hyper-aggressive like this. On a larger map like Winter Madness, this is weaker, just because it takes longer to get across the map. So not too fond of the overall idea here, but I mean, we gotta do something. That prism. Sebestos, it's all or nothing. He's moving out with his all in. He's up to 6 gateways. 6 gate, 2-base all in out of Sebestos. Glaives are finishing. He's got 4 immortals. I mean, there's going to be a lot of DPS, a lot of firepower here. It all comes down to the setup from Jimmy. So far, I don't see any batteries here at the third, for example. There's no batteries. Does have some batteries set up at the natural base, so there's a much more secure position to fall back on. Third base is more open, more exposed. Jimmy setting up for a counterattack, so this will weaken the all-in by coming in and killing probes, and that will limit reinforcements. And here comes the push. Yeah, here comes the main move, and at the same time, Jimmy moves in. We got 2 adepts to the natural, and we have 2 adepts to the main. Adepts are moving in. Sebestos does not turn back around, and probes will fall. Or at least they should. Oh no, they're move commands. Oof. Yeah, rough move command there by Jimmy. Doesn't get as much done as he should. Targeting 6 probes. Sebestos gets across the map. Meanwhile, we have 2 batteries ready. Oh, once again, the prism goes down. No shot. GG gets caught. Jimmy sniping the war prism. And Jimmy will claim the series 2-0. GG. Oh. GG, well played. Jimmy, he will claim the series. Again, the all-in never really got going there, as Jimmy, he was so quick to snipe that prism and so quick to shut that down. GG. GG, well played. With that, Jimmy will claim the series, and with that, we'll advance on. Sebestos is now out of the tournament. Sebestos is out. Baby Marine is out. Up next, we have our next matchup. It's going to be a PvZ. We have 2 series left. 2 series left here tonight. We finally get to experience some Zerg play, some Zerg representation here, as it is going to be a best of 3 between UD Soldier and GG Machine. Oh boy. Here we go. Meanwhile, shout out to Sebastis. Again, we just had some really rough early games, what I will say. Some really rough moments. The Novas we saw in game 1. And likewise here in game 2, just having a really hard time maintaining an early game economy as he was torn apart early on. Where do we go? Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the orange Zerg player. The orange Zerg player himself. Representing Stouty Bulls, it is GG Machine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Yuri Soldier. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we settle into our fresh best of 3. Welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak again is still a modern map in the map pool, but it's from like 2 years ago. It's or even just under 2 years even. But it's been a while. It's been a while here since we've experienced Tokamak. I say 2 years, like 18 months maybe. So again, relatively recent times. It is a very large map in the map pool, known for longer macro games, as it is quite easy to defend on 4 bases. The reasoning for this is because this area in between the bases is fully sealed off with these rocks. So you have 2 locations to defend. You have this base or this location here on the right, and this location here on the left hand side. You have 2 locations to defend to protect 4 expansions. So very, very easy to defend your 4 bases. Oh, as that was a misplaced Nexus. Oh, good. UD Soldier, we gotta calm down. Calm down. Cancel the Nexus. Had to rebuild. The other advantage, of course, here, or the other reason why we would see longer games, is because we have a lot of ramps coming into these positions, which means you have a even stronger defensive advantage if you can fight on top of the ramp as the defending player. So just a lot of defensive advantages. And we'll see if we can embrace that longer game. We'll see if we can get there. As GG Machine, he's been a lot more mid to late game oriented as of late, so I don't know if he'll really be going for a 3-way soloing like we expect in this matchup, especially on the larger and defensive map. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, and for now, UD Soldier should be going for a Stargate opener as well. There's that Stargate. So again, Stargate into Oracle. Letting say pick in. It's a +1 flyer attack. Wait, what? Okay. Interesting here as we're going into +1, which means we may even go for a fast fleet beacon into, say, a Tempest Rush. We can go into a Carrier Rush. We can go into Mass Void Ray. But Warp Gate is not being researched. Aerial Scout is going to be denied.
Evolution complete.
And again, because of how defensive this map is, like trying to turtle up and rush into like Tempest and rush into Skytoss is more viable on this map. 100%. 100%. There it is. There's that fleet beacon. Let's go. For now, we're leading towards Tempest. The goal of a Tempest Rush is to move out across the map and to snipe some queens, then recall back home when things get a little bit too crazy. Have that recall. As GG Machine is going for a standard follow-up here, going into Eva Chamber. Eva Chamber to +1 melee into Ling Hydra. So standard opener here by GG Machine. Yep. Moving towards Ling Hydra. I'm a little bit surprised that we don't start with a Void Ray, just because that would be a really nice way to get some vision across the map, get some map control, even just an Oracle opener. Because there's no Oracle or Void Ray, it's looking more and more suspicious. Like, you're giving GG Machine more reason to scout. as he does go for the Baneliness. Meanwhile, not a Tempest Rush, it's going to be a Carrier Rush instead. Okay. Carriers, technically their rate of fire, their DPS output is a little bit higher. It's just they're less efficient. The reasoning for this is because, one, they cost all those interceptors, and also, and once interceptors go down, you have to rebuild them and you have to spend resources on them. But on top of that, they have less range, right? They have less range, they're less microable than Tempest. So they don't really scale too well into the late game. But early on, they can pop off. Early on. The lair starts at almost 520. Oof. So a later lair here from GG Machine, earlier chamber. Lings, they will delay the expansion. And UD Soldier, is he revealing himself early? He does. Yeah, he does reveal himself here. Now, I mean, thankfully, because of the late lair, GG Machine can't really do much about it. The lair is not even halfway done. But now he knows. Now he's aware. And now we can attempt to delay, distract. Back at home, GG Machine is droning, getting more queens. Do we have spores in our bases? The answer is yes. Okay, we have one spore in each. Sorry, one spore at the third and the natural. Lings, they deny the third, waits for a second time. Now going for the Cybercore. Uh-oh. Yeah, Cybercore's under fire. +2 is going to be denied. And denies +2. Carries are moving in, they get a queen. We got one queen so far, no transfuse, no energy. Uh-oh. Getting one, getting two, getting three queens. Not bad. 3 queens will go down. Now getting a fourth, a fifth. He should get every queen. Every queen will fall. But the spores are putting in a lot of work. There's so many interceptors left, so down to 1 queen. That was 5 queens falling. But GG Machine holds. And meanwhile, across the map, Lings are getting out of hand. They're getting out of hand. Crazy damage. They bring down the gateway, the Cybercore, forcing out a secondary wall. Now we can see UD Soldier up to 4 carriers. Oh. Spyro's on the way. It's only halfway done. We have to rely on purely Queen Spore defense. No, the Spire. Spire's being focused down. It should survive here, but the Spire is getting quite low. Yeah, the carriers are forced away. Carriers are zoned. GG Machine once again moves in. He wants those Cybercores. He wants them. He should get them as well. Yeah, the wall is broken. Lings are flooding in. We have 4 carriers pushing forward. Spire is now done, but GG Machine is supply block. No shot. Can these carriers win the game? GG Machine being supply block, he cannot make Corruptors, and he won't. Wow, the Spire is going to go down at 0 Corruptors for GG Machine. But he's losing all these probes. Oh my god, Lings, they bust into the main, and this Ling aggression is winning GG Machine the game. Or is it? I mean, he does kill everything. Literally every probe is dead. But that's 6, soon to be 7 carriers. Can 7 carriers be dealt with only Queen? I don't think so. Sorry, I say 7, down to 6. 1 carrier is denied, so down to 6 carriers. One of them is low. Ooh, down to 5 carriers. Okay. 5 carriers left. We can deal with this. The spores. And again, GG Machine, he will lose every single queen. He will lose all the queens, but the Spire is almost complete. Carriers to make their way over towards the third. These spores are out of position. You can see they're all ready on the left-hand side, but they're not really within range here on the right. Ooh, what's this? Another carrier down to 4. And miscontrol by UD Soldier. He's down to only 4 carriers. And GG Machine, he does it. Wow, he rebuilt the Spire. We have 7 Corruptors on the way. He's done it. Another Ling run by. Kills the natural. We got messy, Pappy. We got messy. There's a world if UD Soldier had some more attentive control, and if he had preserved those 2 extra carriers, then there's a world where if he had extra carriers, could he potentially get on top of this third base and maybe kill the Spire for a second time? He would have needed the knowledge to be aware of where the Spire was being built, I feel. But potentially. Again, this with 2 extra carriers would be crazy. I had to lose. He lost. Yeah, he lost 2. It's 2 carriers. So far, just clean up all the spores. Corruptors waiting for their moments. 13 Corruptors they dive in, and they will clean this up. They go 1, 2, 3. GG and GG Machine. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. The Ling counterattack, the Ling Flood, that was insane, doing so much damage, killing every single probe and the next eye as well. So critical damage dealt with the Lings. And again, GG Machine, things looking dire. He was supply block. That supply block was insane, as he couldn't actually make any Corruptors. He lost all of his Queens, he lost his Spire as well. So things were looking a little bit shaky there, but in the end, he was able to buy enough time for the second Spire to complete, and then that was over. That was game then and there. GG, well played. With that, GG Machine does take a lead in the series as we load into game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the orange Zerg player. The orange Zerg player himself representing Stouty Bulls, leading the series 1-0. It is GG Machine. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the green Protoss player, the green Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is UED Soldier. Oh boy. There it goes. We're getting into game number 2 here. Another larger map, but this time it's not anywhere near as defendable as Tokamak, for example. So we'll see how aggressive we plan on being here. I do not expect to see a carrier rush again. We just saw it previously, but again, I feel like something like a carrier rush works better on Tokamak because of how turtley it is. Here on White Rabbit, it is a large map, but the bases are spread out and the bases are more open and exposed. Something like a carrier rush will not be anywhere near as successful on White Rabbit. So we should be seeing a different build out of our Protoss. Different build. Go. As the players are opening up, Patch Gas Pool, standard opener out of GG Machine, likewise standard opener out of UD Soldier. We don't really expect any kind of deviation in the early game. It's really more so the mid game where we kind of see our tech of choice and any kind of big moves. Any big moves. Zerla pokes in. Again, should just be a Stargate opener out of UED Soldier. He might mix things up and go into a Twilight Council, which is very rare nowadays. But you know what else is rare? Carrier all in. So carrier rushes. So clearly UED Soldier is willing to be more diverse. And there it is. Twilight Council opener. Hyper aggression out of UED Soldier. Going for the Twilight Council. From here, we'll keep an eye on the gases. If he pulls out a gas, 1 and 1, then this will be Glaive Adepts. Otherwise, if he stays in gas, there's a higher chance this is Dark Templar instead. So we do see DT Rush or Glaive Adepts. It's going to be one or the other, typically. There are some rarer builds where you can go into, like, I don't know, like a 2-base 4-gate blink all in, or go into mass charge lots, for example, but those builds are very, very rare and very niche and not very optimized. Robot gets thrown down. Overlord will scout and does confirm the Robo and the Twilight Council. Glaives does begin, but I'm curious if this is just for show. Yeah, he cancels. As I mentioned, 3 and 3 in gas. He did not pull out, so it's just for show. What's really weird, I don't know if you noticed, he started Glaives under the Overlord. He also canceled Glaives under the Overlord as well. that was the weird part. In doing so, because of that GG Machine, he saw the cancel. Like, he saw the cancellation. There's a very high chance that he himself deduces that it is going to be a Dark Shrine. Back at home, we do have a Roach Warren being thrown down. So far, so good. We'll see if we get spores in time. Right now, it's too early. It's too early to get spores. It would be less. It wouldn't be very efficient. So we just have to wait a little bit longer here, and we should be seeing at least 1 spore at the natural. Let's see in the chat. Why don't I see this match here? So on Wikipedia, I don't know if you noticed, but the lower bracket is incomplete. I say it's incomplete. On Wikipedia, the lower bracket is cut off. And I think the upper bracket as well. Like, the bracket is cut off at a certain point. The bracket is actually, it's like a mirror, like on a car. It's like larger than it seems. Like it. So if you're curious about Archon Drop, no, Glaive Depths. Sorry, DTs first. So basically, you go first with Dark Templar, and if there's detection, then you can back off and turn them into Archons. So it's like a layered aggression. It's not an all-in. Layered aggression. So the Spore is not yet done. Roaches, they do try to hug the Spore. And nice hold position micro. Very nice. Spore does finish, and we get 1, we get 2, we get all 3 DTs. Oh my god, every Dark Templar goes down. GG, and GG Machine will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. Again, a very bold move there by UD Soldier. He went for the dive. He tried to dive in. He tried to focus on the Spore. But again, we had some very nice body blocking from the Roaches. They were able to protect the Spore by surrounding the Spore as well. You saw that only 1 DT was attacking the Spore. The other 2 couldn't get close. They could not get close because of all the chunky boys, papi, all the Roaches. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Not all in until it is. I mean, if you noticed, there was a 3rd Nexus on the way. Like, we were expanding behind it. It wasn't an all-in in the sense that those DTs, they were not supposed to die. So for that to happen, that was critical losses. Critical losses, a brutal start there for UD Soldier with that. GG. GG, well played. And with that, GG Machine, he does claim the series, and will advance on. But something that I was mentioning to Pashka in the chat is that the bracket is actually larger than what is shown on Wikipedia. So if you go to Wikipedia and if you click on the challenge link, then you will get the full bracket. On Wikipedia, they cut it off at a certain point. So hold on, I got you. Bam. There we go. We got you with challenge. And with that, we have 1 series left. We have 1 series left here in the broadcast. It is going to be a TVP between Moja and Ledlix. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be getting into our game, we're going to be loading into our fresh series. Game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Once again, this is on the lower brackets. So that does mean that UD Soldier, he is out of the tournament, and here we go. We're spawning in to the Old Republic. In the bottom hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes, the Italian Protoss. It is Ledlix. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is Moja. Let's go. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as this is the final series of the broadcast. Coming into this matchup here, it's going to be a harder one to call. I think I do lean towards Moja, but I also have to respect that Ledlix has been improving a lot over the past 12 months. Even I would say almost 24 months at this point, but he's been doing very, very well for himself, improving so much. For those who are unfamiliar, Moja is a very aggressive player. He's not on the level of Honmono. Like, Honmono is like an animal, like but Moja is animalistic. Like, Moja, he's often going for cheeses and all-ins and hyper aggression, but it's not as extreme as Honmono, for example. It's not as extreme. So expect all-ins or expect mech, right? Moja, he's also a mech enjoyer, and he's not afraid to mech it up against Protoss. Not afraid. So we'll see where he takes us. As now Lelix does back in, is going to be Marine first, is going to be initially an economic opener. Single gas, so racks expand at a Moja, going for the economic start. Does go for an economic opener here as we do settle in. Welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic has a very open and exposed third and fourth base location, so because of that we do typically expect aggression in the mid game. But do you see what I see? I see a second rack, so this is the beginning of either a 3 racks or a 2-on-1. Regardless, early stim, hyper aggression out of Moja. As I mentioned from the beginning of the series, like, we expect aggressive builds here out of our Terran player. So already kicking things off with an early stim timing. It's going to be on Lelix to recognize what's going on and to react in kind. We have a reactive marine production into tech lab, into stim, and again we're leaning towards a third racks. No, hold on. This is not a 2-on-1. This is not a 3 racks. This is a 3cc 2-on-1. Okay. For those that are curious, this is a ZVT build. This is a very rare side against Protoss, to the point where I don't think I've ever seen this against Protoss, actually. Like, we cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. We cast more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than, like, Pig, Rotterdam. I don't think I've seen this build against Protoss before. Okay, Moja, show us what you got. Show us what you got. So basically, the way this works here against Zerg is that we're working towards a stim timing, but it's going to be a delayed stim timing because your factory and your starport are delayed because of this CC. So it's like an economic variation of a stim timing. Meanwhile, the hallucination does confirm everything, does scout and does confirm the initial build, and now is aware that we should be hitting at around 6 minutes. Starts hit at around 6 minutes. Back at home, Lelix is throwing down his gateways, going for a very safe build, 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink into a robo. So a very safe build here by Lelix. That is not a 3cc 2-on-1, that's a 3cc 3 racks. Okay. But so what this means though is that this means that the medevac timing is going to be even later, right? So this factory is even later than usual because it's after a third racks as well. So this will be a much later push. The advantage though is that we do have a very fast third TC. Like, I should put a little bit more emphasis on this, right? Like, yes, this is coming into a stim timing, but off of the back of a very fast third base, to the point where Moja should be able to skyrocket ahead in the mid game. Like, he should have a boosted economy with extra mules and extra SCV production. Meanwhile, Moja, he's pushing early. He's pushing without medevacs. So this is going to be a bit of a Beyond move. Beyond's very fond of this when it comes to pushing pre-medevacs, but with stim. Stim is done in a couple of seconds. So this will hit early, and we might even kill the Nexus. We'll see how this lines up. Marines that move in. Nexus is not thrown down, so we'll just delay. Yeah, we'll kill the probe, we kill the pylon. Does delay the expansion, but unfortunately didn't force a cancel. We'll get a kill. Oh, stims forward. Blink is not yet done. He gets 1, he gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. Yeah, 3 Stalkers going to be going down. It'll cost him everything though. Oh, and I don't think this was worth it. If this had actually killed or canceled the base, then maybe. But the problem with what just happened here is that, remember, Moja, he was building up towards a 3-1-1 like stim timing. But now he just lost all of his Marines. So that timing, that breakout moment for him is that much weaker now. As he lost 13 Marines and 1 Marauder. So that means that Moja's stuck at home. And it means that Moja cannot expand. He cannot claim his third. Yeah, we just blink into the main base. Massive force field. The army's stuck with the low ground. No, he cannot move in. The force field is brutal. The boys are being pulled, and then she just snowballs out of control, just punishing Moja. Going for another warp in. Force field does not run out. We get a second force field. We just camp the production, and Moja cannot keep up, cannot deal with this. We even just go for the kill. Oh my god, he kills the CC. He kills the command center. Brutal punish. And with that, Lelix just snowballs out of control. Denies the upgrade. Combat shields is denied. Oh, a bit of miscontrol there as he did push forward. But Lelixi does pull out. He does pull out 13 SCV kills, and Moja, the economic advantage that he should have had isn't there anymore. He has lost that economic lead. He lost his third base. Again, he did miss his timing. I say he missed his timing. He went for an earlier premature push. He got punished for it. And now it all just snowballs out of control. Lelixi is miles ahead, getting his own third expansion, building up into the Bay, into Colossus, into splash damage. Again, Moja had potential with his build, but he was overly aggressive. Now losing a bunker, no refund. Thankfully doesn't lose the other. Without Moja, he is hurting. Likewise, another reason why this is hitting so hard is because there's no factory production, right? There's no tanks. There's no tanks behind this, so there's a weaker defensive setup. No tanks because of the delayed factory, due to the build of choice. And the reality is that there's nothing pressuring Lelix to push in. Like, he doesn't have to break this position, doesn't have to push into the natural or into the main base. He's far enough ahead. As he does try to go for the backstab, but Moja is somewhat in position. So Lelix has to be careful. Observers over the main army. And we're building on more Colossi. That's all we gotta do. Just calm down, back off, claim a fourth base, build up the Colossus, build up the splash damage. Oh no! He does move command in, Prism goes down, nice pick up here by Moja. Finally, something goes Moja's way, getting a free Prism, full of Zealots. Now this is it. I would recommend just pulling the boys and going for an all-in, but the problem here is that Moja, if you notice, rebuild his third. He's rebuilding his third CC, so that tells us he wants to try to get into the mid-game. But I don't know if he can. Yeah, not like this, not like this. He gets caught out. The Medivacs get focused down, losing one, losing two Medivacs. Losing up to three, the Zealots punish the ground army. Oof, and he cannot get away as Medivacs falling one after the other. 3 Medivacs left. Just those 4. The army does come in for a flank. Down to 2 Medivacs. And heavy losses. That was 5 Medivacs going down. 2 Medivacs remaining. They get spotted by the pylon. Lelixi should have defensive weapons. There we go. Stork's in position. And Lelixi just snowballs out of control. Boys are being pulled in a moment of desperation. Colossus just going ham here on the bio army. He's crazy. Yeah, kills all the SCVs. Meanwhile, dropping to the natural, GG gets called, and Lelixi will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Lelixi will claim a lead in the series, and again, an interesting build out of Moja. Had potential for sure, but again, he chose to go for the Beyond push. He chose to go for the early timing, the early move out of here with Stim without any Medivacs, and he killed a probe, he killed the pylon, he killed 3 stalkers, but it cost him 13 marines. 13 marines. He lost his marauders as well. It was an expensive loss, and that triggered the counterattack, right? That did instantly trigger Lelix pushing across the map, and then he just snowballed out of control. He was able to punish Moja for overextending, for losing too much. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 2, and we'll see how our players do adjust, and what Moja brings to the table this time. I can't imagine we'll see the same builds. Show us what else we got. Let's see. Let us see. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Italian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Ledlix. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player. We have the German Terran. It is Moja. Down in this series, and we'll see if he can recover and bounce back. Now, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map, has a shorter rush distance by ground compared to Old Republic, compared to Winter Madness, compared to White Rabbit. So smaller rush distance by ground, more exposed 3rd and 4th bases. It is very common for Terrans to go for 2 base all-ins. 2 base all-ins are very, very common on this map. So we'll see if we're expecting that out of Moja, but what kind of variation, what kind of aggression do we see? Meanwhile, because of that, we often see very safe builds out of Protoss players. We even sometimes see Protoss players going for hard counters and going into like early charge, for example, to try to shut down tank-based all-ins. There is risk associated with that, of course. So we'll see. So we're getting into our openers. Lely's going for his probe scouts. Aiming zone expands. Likewise, single gas opener at Moja going for his own command center as well. So both players going for standard economic openers. Oh, wait, what? Moja, he had 400 minerals, but he chooses not to get the CC. Despite the single gas opener, he goes for the factory. Okay. Okay, Moja. Show us what you got. Again, because this Moja, he's banking resources. We'll see if he still expands. No shot we go for a one base all-in. One base all-ins are not unheard of in this matchup. You see them quite a lot from Honmono. You see them from players like Maru. Maru, he does mix in one base all-ins, but now with the resources we have, we should be expanding. Yeah, 400 minerals. There's a CC. We're opening up early Reaper Hellion. Okay. This should just be for scouting information. We shouldn't commit too hard into Reaper Hellion. Just 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion, scouting across the map. And we'll see where he takes us. No, he's making another wave. Okay, he's committing harder. He's doubling down. So because of this commitment, this does mean that Moja needs to find damage with this. Like, he's making extra Reapers, extra Hellions, so he needs to find some economic damage. Oh, Lelixi moves out with the hallucination, and Lelixi should confirm the commitment into Reaper Hellion. He spots a move out. Yeah, does spot the move out. Yep, he sees both Hellions, he knows. Back at home, army's getting ready. Gets eyes on the 1-1-1 follow-up. No battery in the main base, but there is a full wall off here on the high ground, so there's no Reaper Cliff available into the main. And Lelix is ready. He's ready at the natural. Behind this, going 3-gate blink into a robo. Very safe build here by Ledlix. Going 3-gate. And we'll see what Moja can get done. Now, there is going to be a window of opportunity here with his Widowmine drop. Ideally, what we do here is use the Widowmine. You do one or the other. Either the Widowmine drop distracts for the Reaper Hellion, or the Reaper Hellion distracts for the Widowmine drop. But they should be hitting at the same time. Should be hitting. Hallucination rescouts, confirming the tech lab on the factory, confirming there is no Banshee follow-up. You can see here the Reaper Hellion is distracting the Stalkers. Does try to distract. As the drop is coming in, now we're getting up to another wave of Stalkers. Medevac gets spotted. How do we respond? 3 Stalkers in the main. Okay, there's 3 Stalkers in the main base. Widowmine here in towards the natural. So far, Lelixi defends well. Yeah, the Widowmine being very annoying. Delays the mining. And that's all the damage dealt. That's all the damage dealt here. There was no opening created. And Lelix holds. Likewise, blink is complete. Setting up for a 3rd base. Lelixi moves out. And so far, this is a lackluster start from Moja. To invest into Reaper Hellion, to invest into the Widowmine, so far he has not dealt any damage. Not yet. Back at home, tanks are in position. They were in position. Okay, there is an opening here now as the tank does reposition towards the ramp. Stalkers, they head straight for the mineral line, and they will one-shot SCVs. So far, getting 1, getting 2, getting 3. Do we get 4? No, 3. 3 SCV kills. Nice damage. Widowmine drop is activated. Does head for the natural. And oh no, Jesus. Felix, he does pull away. It does pull away in time. Despite that, Liberator does get 4 probe kills in total. Not bad. Yeah, that was a Liberator. So decent damage. The Widowmines do manage to get into the medevac as well. So far that's 5 probe kills for 1 Hellion, a Reaper, a Liberator, 3 SCVs. So we have a bit of a back and forth trade. As Alex is not quite done. Going back in, gets a Marine. And once again, Moja is getting a 3rd CC. Okay, I'm a little bit surprised here by Moja's play, both in Game 1 and in Game 2. I mean, Game 1 made a little bit more sense because he still had a quirky build with it. But here in Game 2, we're still going for a 3rd command center here. We'll see if we can actually play the mid-game out against Lelix. It's not easy. Oh. Yeah, there's an opening. What do I drop back into the main base? Looking for more damage. And hopefully he gets 2 more probes. It's 1. Ah, just the 1. Yeah, 1 more probe goes down. Lelix, he finally does clean this up. Medevac will make it back home. Ideally, we'll see if we can bypass the Stalkers. And Moja looks to expand. Oh, this is a bit of an earlier 3rd base as we're moving out before the orbital morphs in. Medevac does make it back. We'll bleed out 2 Marines in the process. Lelix going for his own drop. And Moja is spreading himself thin here. Tanks a reposition to the 3rd. And the main base, there's still 1 tank, thankfully. 1 tank in the main. Marines as well. It's charge. Yeah, charge is done. And Lelix, can he break this position? It all comes down to how the army is split. Where's all the supply? Prism is defected. Lelix, now he can join up with his main army. Viking with their deception. Very nice. And zones away the prism. Stalkers, can they save it? There's a blink. They can. Yeah, Viking goes down. We're going for the warp in. But now Moja can focus everything and fix everything here at the 3rd. He's got 4 tanks, a good amount of bio. He will have 1-1 upgrades. Stim and combat shields. And Moja, he wants to commit. He wants to go for it. No, so Lelix, his supply blocked. Yeah, Pylon just now being thrown down. Brutal supply block. He does commit. Zealot's coming in for a flank. He gets 1, he gets 2 tanks. Yeah, 2, soon to be 3 tank kills, but can he break through the siege line? He's running out of Zealots. Yeah, he's running out of Zealots. 3 tanks go down, but those are still some heavy tank shots on the main army. Oh my god. Yeah, the Stalkers are very low. Without more Zealots, I don't see Lelix breaking this. It's not going to happen. Oh my god, another tank shot. Another tank following the Stalkers. Decent force field. Joins back the army. And not bad. Now, what's important about what just happened here is that for the most part, Lelix, he retained the Stalkers. Quickly checking the battle reports, 8 Stalkers still went down. Like, those were some expensive losses there for Lelix, losing 8 Stalkers, but didn't lose any Colossus. As Lelix is claiming another base. Moja, now his defenses are stronger. He's got Liberation Zone set up. He's got his freedom. Also doesn't help that Lelix was supply blocked when he was pushing. True. Doesn't help. As Zel's a peel off into the natural mineral land, at the same time Prism into the main. This time the tank and Marines, they have moved out of position. They're not in the main base. There is a bunker, but it's further back, and we do go for the massive warp in. Yeah, nice damage so far. 14 SCV kills, going for the add-ons. Bunker will defend. That's still 15 workers going down, and add-ons. Getting a tank as well. Oh god. Getting one tank, getting a marauder. Do we get two? Two marauder kills. Remember, this is only minerals. It's only zealots. They trade well. 16 SCVs, one tank and two marauders. Very nice trade for Ledlix. And now he's getting up to five? Getting up to 5 Colossus. Yo, we heard you like lasers, pappy. True, true. What's the Viking out looking like? 0. Well, hold on. 0 Vikings. Oh, right, the reactor was killed. True, the reactor was killed on the starport. So, again, we don't want to underestimate just the death of all those add-ons. 0 Vikings. And with 0 Vikings, these Colossus, they're a big threat. Typically, you stop at 3 and you have to transition out because of the Viking count, but they're a 0. So this is a rare game where Colossus, you can just keep making them. You just keep going. And Zealotech collapse in, takes down one tank. Just the one. So one tank goes down, and then the Colossi, they have to back up. Viking production has begun. We're waiting for extra Zealot warpins. Mining is denied. And again, we got 5 Colossus. And they're looking to start to step in. Warping in 11 zealots at a time. And now we come in. Now we come in. Nice EMP. There are some ghosts. There are some EMPs. And Liberators are doing what they can. And the zealots, they are going to be cleaned up. But they still trade well. They still trade well here. The way this works, the Zealots are just buffering. They're just a meat shield. It's the Colossus that deal the real damage in the back line, and they kill 14 SCVs. They break through 22 Marines, 18 Marauders. And the issue here, of course, is that Ledlix can afford these trades, right? He can afford to throw away Zealots. He has the economy of 77 probes. Meanwhile, Moja can't afford these losses. His army is getting smaller and smaller over time. It's getting smaller. And we spoke about this at the start of the game. Remember what we said about Ruby Rock? Specifically, the 3rd and 4th base locations on this map are open. They're much more open, much more accessible, which is why we were alluding to the Terran going for an all-in to punish that. But instead, Moja, he was a little more defensive. He built up in towards the mid-game, does catch one Colossus. He gets one. But again, defending and rotating between this 3rd and this 4th base is very difficult. That Ledlix is just enjoying the rest of the map. Just enjoying the map. Taking more bases. Now, what I will say is that Moja's main army is actually looking quite terrifying itself. So if Ledlix takes one bad fight, if he attacks, loses his zealots, and then keeps pushing by accident and just overextends and maybe is overconfident, then there is a world where Moja can actually take a better fight over Ledlix. That can happen. And then instantly counterattack. Because the map is so small and because the rush distance is so short, like that can still be a possibility here, for sure. But Moja really only has one good fight in him. One good fight. Nice EMPs. EMPs connect. Colossus, they wasted DPS on the CC. Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 volleys on the command center. Vikings, they bully back the Colossus. And again, a bit of a messy trade here from Ledlix, down to 3 Colossus from 5. EMPs connect. EMPs connect. Again, there's a lot of Marauders here. Army moves in. There's only 2 Vikings. They can be focused down. And no target firing. There we go. Does focus down 1, 2. Does barely not get the final Viking. We need more Zealots. Warp in finishes. Final Viking should go down, and does. And Ledlix, he can now pull away. He can now pull away. Again, this was still a messy fight from Ledlix. He still lost more Colossi. He was not focus firing with the Stalkers. But once again, Ledlix, he can afford some bad trades. He can afford it. As now we're having fun, we're going into Shadow Stride. Shadow Stride is being researched. DTs are warping in. Moja does have a 4th base up and running, but he should not maintain this base. Like, no shot. Does spot the move out. Ooh, Prism goes down, trying to get into the main. Okay. Moja, if he can maintain a 4-base economy, he can max out. Oh. Do we have a scan? No. No shot. 0 scans, by the way. There we go. EMPs. EMPs at Dark Templar. Thankfully, had an EMP available. There's an alternate way to reveal hidden units. As we open 6 more DTs. There is now 1 scan available from the natural. And 1 scan from the 3rd. So we got some scans. Turret is now done as well. And here we commit. We try to commit. Once again, we get some wasted shots here from the Colossi. We have to back off. Running out of Zealots. Ooh. Yeah, Lelixi overextends. The massive overextension is going to lose everything. Losing 1, 2, 3, 4. Colossus go down. Ay, ay, ay. We mentioned this earlier, but you have to be so careful with this army control. Once you start losing Zealots, you have to pull out. You have to pull out, otherwise you will lose everything. And Moja, he got his fight. Keep going. Here comes a counterattack. We have to keep pushing. Protoss army is just so fragile. We have to be careful, Bobby. Had to look after it. As we have more Zealots coming in, and there might just not be enough bio here. Vikings force to land. Nice show point, but GG. Yeah, GG gets called. The Zealots are going to be enough here to overwhelm, and Lelixi will claim the series 2-0, advancing on and knocking Moja out of the tournament. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Moja, he had 1 fight in him. He had 1 fight. Unfortunately, he had no economy behind it to really sustain himself. He had a 4th base, but he had 40 SCVs. Didn't have any workers, so he couldn't actually afford to lose the Ghost he was losing, or the Vikings, or the Liberators especially. Like, he was bleeding out units. Couldn't afford it. He had 1 strong fight. That's all he had. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Lelixi will claim the series. He will claim the series. He will advance on, and let us catch up on the brackets. Let's go. Let us go. Again, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. I don't think the Wikipedia page has been updated yet. We bring this up all the time, but hey, if you're out there, if you want to support if you want to, you know, in some way support StarCraft and support the community, in another way outside of just, you know, supporting on like Patreons or subscribing, you can do so via something like Wikipedia. We bring this up all the time, but a lot of the Wikipedia contributors are European based. There aren't many North America or America's based contributors, so as a result, very often when it comes to tournaments at this time slot, at this time zone, all the European editors are asleep. They're all asleep right now, so there are no updates made here to the bracket. But, you know, hey, if you happen to be watching events, whether it's this event or whether it's like Pegasus Cup, that's another big one, or like the Patch Clash, or maybe even some of the Ladder Legends tournaments, very often a lot of the events that I just mentioned don't get updated. Very often, I say don't get updated, often it takes like hours before they get updated, as the Europeans wake up later on, of course, to recognize that, you know, a tournament happened and they start to update. So if you're out there, you know, do consider maybe contributing in your own way. And again, Wikipedia is open to editing from anyone, so you can just edit yourself. But here we go. Coming into the events, we did wrap up earlier with Cure versus Harstem. So Cure, he took down Harstem 2-0 to advance on here to the upper bracket. We then had Skillus. Skillus took down Art 2-0, so it's going to be Cure versus Skillus in the upper bracket semifinals. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we do have players waiting for their opponents, and they should now have them. Very quickly, just catching up. Actually, we can show off the challenge page, I suppose. Let's have a look. Give me the challenge. We'll see. I know the challenge page is huge, so bam, there it is. There we go. We have the challenge page. So scrolling all the way down. Oh, yeah. It's. Can we scroll down? Not quite. It's such a big bracket. You can see how many games are being played. Oh my god. With Eve, with Middle VK, Defiance, Percival, Solar, Fiance, Bunny, Rebellion. Someone was asking earlier why all the games aren't being showed on Wikipedia. This is why. It's a massive bracket. And Wikipedia, they often do have a cutoff point that they often don't show everything. So a bit of a fun fact: Wikipedia, they often, if there's like a bracket, like even like a single elimination like open tournament, say like a Sparkling Tunic Cup, if we have like a round of 32, often it only shows like the round of 16 on Wikipedia. Or if there's like a round of 64 in like a Pegasus Cup or like in a What is TV Monday, it cuts it off, and we often just show round of 16, like round of 16 onwards. Typically, they could show bigger brackets, but they often don't. They try to slim it down a little bit. Instead, try to slim it down. But we did have Arcfire versus Middle VK. That did wrap up earlier. The winner goes up against Lambo. True. Okay, so very quickly, hold on. So Arcfire took down Middle VK earlier, so it's going to be Arcfire versus Lambo in the lower brackets. I can just show that off. I guess I can show that off here. So you can see Lambo here in that lower bracket. I just highlighted his name. That's going to be Lambo versus Arcfire. Meanwhile, we did have Baby Marine versus Goblin. Goblin did take down Baby Marine earlier, of course. Did bring him down. And that's going to be Goblin advancing on into the next round as well. We also have... we also had a Jimmy. Jimmy took down Sebestos. I believe that's going to be Jimmy versus Cham in the next round. We have Jimmy Machine, who took down UD Soldier. And of course, Lelix just took down Moja as well. So GG. GG, well played. That is going to be Jimmy versus Cham. That's going to be Goblin versus Bunny. Oh, Goblin versus Bunny in that lower bracket. It is going to lead into GG Machine versus Yang Yakov, and Moja is still waiting for his next opponent. Likewise, we have Rebellion, Fiance still to play, Milky Art still to play, and Eba versus Nickrak still to play their matches as well. So we still have ongoing games, ongoing matches. Again, this tournament is so big and so huge that usually it takes like around 3 months, like 2 to 3 months to actually go through the entire tournament. There you can see some of the matches. We have Eba versus Nickrat, Milky Heart versus Art, Fiat versus Rebellion. Here, we can see that Lelix did just take down Moja, and he's waiting for his next opponents. G Machine, he's up against Yang Yakov, and so on and so forth. Okay, just massive brackets, massive brackets. So with that, GG well played. We are wrapping up here for the day. As you can see, we only have one broadcast today. This morning, we don't have a cast this evening. We do have the evening off, and you can see the rest of our schedule as well. When it comes to the next our schedule here, we're going to be live tomorrow with Amantis. Amantis the StarCraft is going to be tomorrow morning. We have Sparkling Tunic Cup tomorrow evening. We have Pegasus Cup Wednesday morning. We have Kung Fu Cup. We have GSL. For those who are unaware, we were live casting the GSL finals last night. We were live casting the semis and finals over on Soup. We have the rebroadcast on Twitch and YouTube. That'll be on Thursday. It's going to be the rebroadcast. We have the Podcast, we have StarCraft Evolution League, Code for Giants Cup, SDO, and more STC content. Plenty of StarCraft every single day. I will say that something did come up IRL, and our schedule might be a little bit leaner this week. I'll try to cast what I can, and there are some things that I'm like dedicated to, like Tunic Cups, for example, like the show must go on. But we might end up cutting some of the, or rescheduling some of the morning broadcasts, just because, you know, things have happened. So it may be a little bit less available. Is this tournament the entire professional SC population? So I mentioned this earlier. For those who are unaware, the OSC Mid Season Playoffs, this tournament is basically like the World Championship for online tournaments. That's why the bracket is so huge, because it's everyone who plays in online tournaments, basically. This means that you have basically everyone involved except for players like Serral, Raynor, and Maru, because they don't play in online tournaments. They do not play. But that's why if you scroll up, you've got like Max Pax, you've got Clem, or I believe we have Björn, we have Nightmare, we have Christianer, Cure, Harstem, Skillus, Geralt. Like, again, it's the best of the best here, except for players that don't play in online tournaments. So no Serral, no Raynor. There are certain players that are excluded from this. It's only players that compete in the OSC circuit. True. Just as a heads up. But yeah, that's why it's big. It's everyone's playing. Everyone's involved. But otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up here for the day. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you enjoy the content this week as well. If you missed out on GSL over the weekend, I do highly recommend checking out the VOD because GSL was crazy. That was crazy. A lot of fun games, a lot of fun matches. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe for Amanthus, at least for Tuna Cup tomorrow. At least for Tuna Cup. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, do support other SE streamers. Who's live at the moment? Who can we raid? I know that Pig is playing AoE. He's playing Age of Empires. Who is live? Your Huck is streaming League of Legends. Yeah. It's the Huck. There's actually not many people live at the moment. Yeah, I don't see many people live at the moment, so we might just, yeah, we'll see. We'll figure it out. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao. If you want to support us, you can do so by following us on all the socials. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. Likewise, you can support us monetarily if you wish via Patreon. We do fund, Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis, so it funds the Tuna Cups, the Duckling Open, and the Swan Open as well, all funded by Patreon. So thank you so much for all our patrons. Thank you so much for all our supporters. We'll see you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.